I don't know what happened there. The mic didn't get unmuted from the actual intro. That was not me. That was not some rookie mistake. Don't worry. But again, what I was trying to say is here we are again. Here we are again. An episode where it is too often the same words on repeat, basically. We are starting to find a team that we want to believe in, a team that we should believe in. However, they are certainly just in a team that just falls short of anything that is really worthwhile talking about sometimes. I spoke to, or I commented on someone that I enjoy, a person that I do enjoy chopping up with. They are on X, and they were saying something about the manager. You can't blame this on the manager. Look, I am at the point where I will openly admit that the players deserve to take on accountability for their play. Ultimately, basics are being undermined. There's a lot of basics that aren't being met. They can bring about certain standards of their own to kind of dictate what they want. And ultimately, despite the fact that that it is the coach that gives them the direction and he provides them the visions as to, or the plans and schemes on the pitch, ultimately, it is the decisions upon the players to go out there and either enact that game plan or to take it upon themselves to play the way they need to play to get the job done. It's that simple. And this team continues to find themselves lackluster and wanting. And it is sad but true that this team is to the point where, and I said this last year, I'll say it again this year, this team is not inspiring to watch. They are not entertaining to watch. It's just not entertaining football. And unfortunately, I've seen many of errors before, even before Klopp. I've seen errors of football with this team that were more inspired or inspiring with their play than this play under this coach. This is how sad it's become. Now, ultimately, I'm going to back this coach until he's no longer our coach. But as long as he is, I am going to back him and say, hey, you know what? More power to him. Let's get behind the coach. Let's get behind the team. Let's root for these victories. Let's get these. Let's get these results. But I am going to be critical. I am going to continue to be critical. I am going to continue to not try to be revisionary with the history that I find some content creators, some pundits do, or not some pundits as of late. And that's what's interesting. I see a lot of content creators that do a little bit of the revisionary history when it comes to talking about our previous gaffer and the foundations that he built and placed upon this club. And I see a lot of them try to overcompensate, I think, sometimes in trying to make sure that this coach is given the credit that he is due for winning a title. But I think that they are undermining and often segmenting where they're going to be actually factual with the presentation of what this club has always been to me, but also especially in the last 10, 15 years, what this club has really represented for me is a high intensity, a gegenpress style, club that's going to be always pushing for a win, always high intensity, always high concentration, high professionalism, all these different things, team mentality, all those aspects of it all, But this team is like a team where we have a lot of talented individuals. It just doesn't seem like they are talent. Their talent alone is not being melded together properly. It's not being put together properly. to create and present a team or present a scheme that is interesting, that is entertaining. I'm saying to you all, I am breathing. Trust, I am breathing. Went down, got myself a little bit of coffee so I can stay awake, because I was about to fall asleep during that game. But I'm saying, yes, breathe. Because that wasn't entertaining. I feel like being like, are you not entertained? Okay, JP, I will send you. I know JP is going to definitely include some interesting angles and perspectives. So I will send you a link. Give me 1 second to get onto X. But it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. I think there is there are, hold on 1 second. This thing's, oh man. What is my I do not know what my, they've got this new thing on hold on 1 second. I will send it to you. JP. I've got this new thing where it's like you gotta put a passcode in for your X to get onto your X account sometimes. I don't know what the heck that's all about, but I don't know my passcode, so I can't send that through my computer, so I'll have to send it through my phone. But again, let me pick this up too here. I can't emphasize enough that the football we're seeing isn't inspiring. Simply isn't inspiring at all. The football that we're seeing, again, I understand you could possibly say, well, you rather win than be entertained. I understand that. But I am saying that we used to win and be entertained. Some people would go back and say, oh, were you entertained last season and dislikes? Possibly because we were playing a concept that was very similar, just slightly tweaked from a version of what we used to see in every day in, day out, the identity of this team. We used to see it on the regular. But now with this total football, we are seeing a concept that is so far from being entertaining that it is to the point where it is frustrating. Put this link in here for my guy here. DX. And look, I can talk about systems. We can talk about structures. We can talk about principles all night, I'm sure. But at some point, players have to hold accountability. Loose touches, slow decisions, stale movement. I would say that's not coaching, because that's on the players to perform to the levels that they need to perform at. It's a bit of coaching in the sense that mentality of having the game be at that pace should not even be in their psyche. It should not be even in their cranium. And it should be something that is the last thing on their mind, is slowing the ball down to where we see players putting cleats. Cleats should never be on top of the ball. It should be touch, pass, two touches possibly at max. Keeping the ball flowing, movement. And I don't mean moving side to side to side to side to side. That is so incredibly poor to see. Because the coach isn't helping by allowing for that to be the case. This football is lackadaisical. It's predictable. It's boring. It's football without teeth. And Liverpool have never survived as a team without fangs. We're usually the ones that have a bite to our game. Tonight wasn't a collapse, but it wasn't a response either. It wasn't a response at all. I got JP in the house. Let me bring him in. Big up, JP. How are you?
Big up, man. I'm good. I can't
or for whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For whatever, what I mean by that.
How things with you? How things with you?
Ooh, tell me, man. I can't emphasize enough that this coach makes it incredibly difficult each and every turn of the page with him to try to stand up for him or try to be someone that is progressive with the praise or progressive. I'm quick to praise him when he wins and quick to praise him when he needs to praise or should be afforded the praise, but he makes it extremely difficult with the type of football that we're seeing on this team, with the regiment of talent that he has. And that's why when I hear all these people that talk about that despairingly talk about Jurgen Klopp and how it's incredible how there's been a complete U-turn from the praise that Jurgen used to get. Jurgen with this team, oh my goodness. With the amount of talent that Jurgen would do with this team is that's the part and point where I get angry or get upset about the conversations when I try to go back and forth with people that want to put down Jurgen Klopp and the likes. I'm like, can you imagine Jurgen Klopp with this talent, with these? Oh my goodness! It's the reason why I brought the point up about Thiago. Florian Wirtz would be his version of Thiago, just further forward.
Yeah.
His version of finally getting KDB, maybe. What were your thoughts on this game? How are you? What's the vibe that you have currently after I will say that a fortunate draw.
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, disappointed. I was shocked with the amount of space Sunderland had to pass the ball in the back. I think their manager said they were surprised how comfortable they were.
I saw that. Oh my goodness!
And to me, comfortable at Anfield is to fit in the same sentence for opponents,
Yeah.
Right. So and I think it's the same thing. It was Gibbs White said that too as well. He didn't expect it to be that comfortable when Nottingham Forest beat us 3-0. Yeah. So it means that we lost that teeth or that sting that you're talking about, and that press that we had, and teams finding it easy to play us now at our home ground, and I've never seen that, barring major injuries. I've always grown up knowing Anfield was a fortress. You gonna die once you come in Anfield. Teams used to fear. They used to scratch off Anfield off the fixture list because they know it's an automatic loss once they see it in the fixture list. So it kind of disappointed to see what we succumb to now, and I just taken the words right out of your mouth in terms of, because it even worse with the caliber of players that we have. And I'm seeing world-class players playing for Liverpool, and I'm struggling to name Sunderland players. I only know Granit Xhaka and it's what are we doing? What am I watching? It's what is going on here in the normal world, in the normal scopes of football. We're not supposed to be drawing or even coming close to losing to this team. Chiesa has to. I think Chiesa saved Slot job tonight. I mean, if it wasn't for that defensive masterclass there, I mean,
we're looking at a completely different game. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know how he got back, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like, as in, I thought it was a complete one-on-one.
Yeah.
When I looked up and I'm like, and then all of a sudden I see Chiesa running back. I'm like,
yeah. And this is
that's why I love that guy. I love Chiesa.
And this is why I will say it. Clubs, slots, man management. 12 man, I can never have somebody who will die for my badge and have them on the bench, bro.
Yeah.
I will never have that person on the bench. So, like, for me, automatically, I would play Chiesa and Szoboszlai in this team because both of them, I know, will give that 100% and die for the badge. They will put their bodies on the line. Chiesa didn't have to do that for us, right? In a normal circumstance, like Chiesa was way behind that striker, right? And he showed guts to get there to save us. So I mean, the only positive I taken out of this game tonight is that, I mean, I didn't find it was vintage, and I expected a little more from him because I know, as I said, I know what he could give, but it was I saw enough there off the back of the West Ham game for Florian. I'm glad to see that he was a little more involved again, getting the own goal that will count as an assist now because it's not his goal. Right, so
I think that's BS too. By the way, I don't.
That's fine.
I don't know how someone could.
But I mean,
with a little bit of, because he was so close.
To
say that was going wide of the net. From that angle, to me, it looked like it was going on goal. It just looked like it was going to be either clipping the post or maybe going outside the post or maybe going inside the post. It looked like it was headed towards the post. I think that was a poor decision.
But at the end of the day, he was involved and that's a positive for us, you know. I think bringing on Salah kind of dropped his level because he was only he had to do a discipline work now on the left, so he couldn't roam free again, which was a bad call in my opinion. However, again, that's the only really positive thing I taken from that game, and I don't know what to say. I was shocked when I saw our next opponents, Leeds, beat Chelsea, because I didn't even know that game was going to. When I heard Chelsea lost 3-1 to Leeds, I said, "Oh wow, that's going to be a tough game Saturday coming for us." So
absolutely is.
So it's only going to get worse. I think the last time we streamed, I told you this manager is now in a place where no room for error now, because you can't drop any more points, and you and I will say we didn't get a draw yet, and naturally in the course of the season you will get draws, right? So we're going to continue to drop points, and 12 man, Leeds into Brighton, into Wolves. I think the next win coming for Wolves, I guess, right? Because
goodness, don't say it. Don't say that.
No, for us,
okay, all right. We're not that bad, are we? Oh my god!
But I'm saying Leeds is a tough outfit.
Trying to make people cry.
Leeds is a tough outfit. We're going away to Inter Milan, who's a very good, strong, defensively sound team, and then also Brighton is no pushovers, and in my opinion, just have a little more quality players than Sunderland. So if we're not on it, we could drop points again there. So the next win I seen first coming, Wolves, right? So
I hope that that's not the case. We have to get points. That Leeds is not going to be an easy game. I mean, that fixture is not a easy fixture to play at, but and especially since that game wasn't originally touted as being a game where if their coach is to lose, that would be him getting the sack. That was like being the reports that if he got a sack, he got a loss against Liverpool, which is was at the time a high likelihood. I don't know how much more so as it is now, but that's where it was supposed to be with us. And now apparently the quote that I just saw Crab mention this too, but I'll bring it up because I mentioned it early on in the broadcast, and that is emergency exclusive. This is from Indy Kalea. He says, emergency meeting, senior players confused. We were at Anfield tonight, and we got some insider info from a trusted Liverpool Football Club source. It turns out that Arne Slot was informed it an emergency. It turns out that Arne Slot was informed in an emergency meeting last week that his job is on the line due to the team's poor performances. If Liverpool doesn't secure a win against Leeds United, another emergency meeting is set for Sunday or Monday morning. What's really concerning is that some senior players are feeling confused about the manager's tactics, which seem to change daily. This lack of clarity is affecting the team's morale and performance on the pitch. Fans are anxious, and it's clear that the pressure is mounting. The next few days are crucial for Slot and the club. So that is the exclusive from Indy Kalea. He's gotten a few things right this season or this past year. I think a lot of what we're seeing, storm in a teacup, said it right. It's what I was saying in the beginning of this broadcast. No identity. I don't know this team anymore. This is not Liverpool. This is not Liverpool team. I can understand that point. I can definitely agree with that point. It's a lot of what I've been consistently trying to emphasize is that you can say what you want about some players not being quote unquote world-class talent or world-class levels and the likes. However, they played Liverpool football. I think that that's important, that you have players that either understand what it means to play Liverpool football or have the talent and are able to play Liverpool football. That has to be the case.
Yeah.
I know I get a lot of pushback when I do bring up those points because, people want, this Classico and that Classico type player. And it's like, I can understand that. Yeah. When you're putting together a team on your video game console, sure. That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense because you can control the players yourself and do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, when you're trying to get a cohesive unit, you got to have players that understand their roles of being a super sub. You got to have players that understand the role of being a closer. You got to have players that understand that they're going to be second fiddle when it comes to being goalkeeper. But when it comes to the cup games and it comes to filling in as the main stopper, they understand that they have to step up and have to have the ability to turn that notch to step up. You have to have players that know that they may not get every start, but when they are called upon to start or when they are called upon to have minutes on the pitch, they give their all. It's as if you don't see any difference in team A versus team B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can say what you want about a lot of the players from past teams, past years. But the realistic point that I've always emphasized is that those players worked their tails off. The kind of play that we see from Chiesa, the kind of play that we even see from Dom this year, but the kind of play that we primarily see from Chiesa, a player that's getting absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely disrespected by this coach. He's one of the few players that plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's one of the few players that as soon as I see him about to come into onto the pitch, I know that that's going to be 110% effort.
Yeah.
And that I can give. And yet he'll still get overlooked. He'll still get passed over for players that have poor games.
Yeah.
That have, subpar games in the likes of the runs. And this coach just says, Chiesa, go out there and get me a miracle.
Yeah.
Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But all the same, after he's done and he gets off the pitch, he wouldn't in the press conference. In the post interview. I don't know if you saw this, JP.
Yeah.
In the post interview, he was getting to talk to about how they almost got scored on.
Mm.
And interviewer had to goad him into giving Chiesa credit for running his tail off and getting back to save it off the line. It wasn't like he was asked a question and he said, well, Ali made a good effort to cut off the angle, and then phenomenal effort from Chiesa. He plays this or that. That wasn't in his first initial interview answer.
Yeah.
It was after the interview had to say, and what about Chiesa? And go over to you. That is like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Read the room here. That's what I'm trying to say. We got one or two guys out there that don't dip their head as soon as we get scored on. And here you have the effort, the sheer effort that you see from this player, and it's often just shrugged off and moved on by the next game.
Yeah.
Wild. Absolutely wild. There's that comment that you just spoke of too, by the way, corner there. We were a little surprised that we had the time and space to play. When have you ever heard that kind of comment be made about a Liverpool team? When's the last time you've ever heard someone mention that? From a team, the caliber of a Sunderland, a newly appointed team in the league. We're not talking about Real Madrid and Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. It is tough.
No disrespect to Sunderland, but like, I mean, I could name one player on that pitch that I recognize. Like, it's like
other than Xhaka, I can only pronounce most of their names. All due respect, that's how often I've seen or heard their names and pronunciation.
That is weird. That is mad to me. And that is worrying signs for Liverpool. Like I don't. At 12 man, I reached that point where you're humble in a way where you're a Liverpool fan and you have to back your team through everything, right? So I'm not here not backing my team, not supporting my team. I was on Uncle Rod's stream just now saying, I feel I might go on the beach Saturday and just because Ellen Road might be just, I can't take that heartache, but is you have to back your team and I guess we reached that stage now where we're going to continue to get the hits and we just need to stick it out until the club makes a decision, because clearly you're seeing the players not understanding, because like what was strange to me is that we dropping off so deep and only starting to press as soon as Sunderland come to the halfway line. And I was like, why we allowing this team to push us back, and we have quality players. I mean, one of the things you learn is that you don't give footballers time and space on the ball. You press them, right? You don't. So these simple little basic things I really don't understand it. And for the love of me, I can't see we have two quality players on the pitch and we're not playing through these guys. Wirtz, I mean, in the first half, Wirtz played a little bit, but like there were opportunities. I saw players to feed him and they're not giving him the ball. I've seen opportunities for Isak to get the ball. I think Isak got one shot in the entire game, right? And what is going on? This is one of the best strikers in the world, and you're telling me getting one shot against Sunderland, right? So I really don't know. I think the writing is on the wall, and by the Champions League game on Tuesday, we will see probably the end of Slot. I really think the writing on the wall, because I'm not seeing us getting a result or a positive result in Leeds, because a positive result right now is a win, sorry. And we can't afford to draw or lose. We can't afford to drop more points. So anything but a win is a negative result, and I'm not seeing where we getting a win unless we play in Wolves coming up, because our next 3 games are Leeds away, Inter Milan away, and Brighton at home. So I really not seeing where this manager could get a lifeline.
That's quite scary. Quite scary. He had 3 total shots. He had 2 shots blocked. That's probably why. And he had just 1 shot. Let me see which one was. First shot was a miss. Second shot was blocked, and his third shot was blocked. Apparently, on here. As far as touches, I'll ask you this: how many touches do you think? I can give you over under, or if you want to try to guess the touches.
Yeah, give me over under. Give me.
All right. Over under 10 touches for Alexander Isak. Over under.
Under.
Just over 14 touches is
14?
how many touches he had.
Wow.
14 touches.
Because I was struggling. I was looking through my mind, struggling to see.
Kind of thinking like, some of those touches were like him having to shade back so deep to receive the ball that it was like it was basically just a tap back to someone so that they can recycle the play and get the play restarted. 14 touches. He had one dribble, one successful dribble, and 1 dribble attempt. He lost the ball 3 times. I'll tell you this much. This is how into the game he was. How many passes do you think he had? And you can tell me, you can just take a guess.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint. It was under 10.
Passes. I remembered he played one back for, I would say 6 passes, 5 passes.
He connected on 2 passes. He had 5 passes total.
Yeah, on 2. Yeah.
Yep. That's by way our 120 some odd million or whatever, over 100 million pound striker. There was a point when he was on the pitch, and one of the most likely pre-rehearsed comments by the commentators was Alexander Isak costs more than the entire Sunderland team combined. Just let that sink in. And Wirtz was on the pitch too.
Yeah.
So that means we had 2 players that were twice the number of their players.
Yeah. It's dark.
That's dark.
Yeah.
That's dark. Jeez. Let me see if I can do something real quick. I'm gonna move this light over because I can't see some of the comments because the light's blocking it. But so if you're making comments or something like that, or I will include your comments in our conversation for sure. I just need to move the light so I can see it. One quick second. Yep. All right, cool. Oh my goodness, man. Sometimes some of this stuff, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, most likely.
Yeah.
You know? All right, that's a little better. I can see your comments now. Bring my camera back up. Looks like we're having a little. I knew what it would become basically in the chat. I certainly thought that it would become a lot of back and forth with a lot of comments being not necessarily pro Slot. I don't think there's many people that are pro Slot any longer, in the sense of thinking that he rightfully deserves his appointment. But I definitely knew that there would be some back and forth as to what your thinking is on the coach. Do you think maybe, JP, that it could be something as simple as the difference? Because I know, because I can we can all assess that when Pep Linders, for instance, joined the team, there was a definite change in philosophy, a change in the approach. The team took a little time to get in tune with the direction that Pep Linders was influencing Jurgen Klopp to go with. But we have Van Brockenhorst, who is a very is a more experienced manager. He won league titles with Feyenoord. And this is all while Heitinga was still younger and still getting his coaching badges and the likes and such. But could it be that it could be something as simple as we need to possibly revert back to Heitinga? Is that maybe a simple fix for this to maybe get it? Crab, by the way, I haven't seen the chat, so I'm sure you got. I know the Crab can sometimes turn up the heat. He's like a crab in a hot pot. He's all over the place getting at people, but it's all love, people. He's a red. He only wants to see us successful. And he's one of our brethren, so I have no issue with what you're saying, Crab. Go ahead and be free of your comments.
Go ahead,
JP.
I mean, every coach brings a new philosophy, and I mean, I've rated Van Bronckhorst as a player. He has success as a manager, but like at the end of the day, he's a coach on number 2, so he could only do too much. The major decisions will be Slot. So I mean, it is a factor. We saw when Heitinga left to go to Ajax. In my opinion, I think it was a little bit too soon, right? I think he should have hung around with us and see out the Liverpool tenure with Slot, or try to build that dynasty with Slot rather than going into a managerial hot seat one time. I mean, I'm not going to take away opportunities from people, but like you and Slot had a good thing going, and you don't break up a partnership like that after a successful season right off the bat. You just try to. I would have said, just try to give it at least 2 more years, and then you could go and do your own thing, because you want to be a head coach or a manager to one day, right? So in my opinion, just a little bit hasty from Heitinga, but like at the end of the day, I just feel everything just turns back to the manager, because it's the manager is the one who making the final decision on things. I mean, Van Bronckhorst could voice his opinion all he wants, but the manager is the one who selecting the team, and at the end of the day, I just there are too many basic things that I'm not understanding. You can't tell me somebody's not fit and can only play 5 minutes and these things like he is, and you're not mentioning him, you're not giving him credit, you're not giving him opportunity. I think today was the perfect game to start Chiesa for Gakpo, right? You could have given Chiesa a chance on the left or even on the right if you want to, and it just these little simple things. I don't think Van Bronckhorst and the rest of the coaching staff have that much clout or that much weight to influence it as much as we take it. I mean, I'm not saying that is not a factor, right? Because I know everything plays a part.
That's interesting too, by the way. You say that. I'm only interjecting this. Why I find that interesting is because Jurgen Klopp is a legendary coach. I mean, he's won titles in Bundesliga. He's won titles, obviously, with Liverpool in the Prem. And yet, Pep Linders did have a significant influence on a lot of the direction that he decided to go with. And it's just interesting that, the player or the coaches that are at his beck and call are maybe not as influential as your might think. I guess is it like maybe it's like is all right. Is Heitinger is it like Liam and Noel Gallagher from Oasis breaking up and going their separate ways? He maybe went too soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just joking. I was trying to make that UK.
Yeah. But and the reason why I say because Pep Linders and Klopp is the type of manager that will use his resources to the best of his ability. So you saw what he would have gotten from players who were quote unquote not the best in the world, and how he would uplift them. And it's the same thing he would do with his coaching staff as well. He would motivate them to give their all. So Pep Linders and Klopp relationship is the perfect combination in terms of Klopp had that aura, you would say, in terms of getting people to give their best no matter what position they're in. If you saw Klopp talking to the chef at Liverpool, the chef making better meals than she or he would have, you know? So it's like, so Klopp had that ability to just get everybody around him to produce the best. With this manager, I believe, like, if you're not in his good books or if he doesn't rate you, you're kind of dead with him, and is a kind of
Tyler Morton. Morton.
So,
the Tyler Morton kind of,
and that just goes throughout. So at the end of the day, Van Bronckhorst could be, who knows? Because remember, Van Bronckhorst is a wing back by trade, right? He naturally a wing back,
right?
And I've never seen Van Bronckhorst invert as much as these wing backs. So I believe, let's say Van Bronckhorst knows the wing back role. He could be saying, well, hey, let's try Kirk as overlapping. You know, he would have come. You know, players talk to you, he say, Coach, why not overlapping? Boy, well, the manager wanted to play this way, so just try it. We getting better, you know? So that's what I was saying. When I see Van Bronckhorst as a wing back and I see our wing backs not doing well, it kind of not adding up to me, because I rated him as one of the best left backs I've seen in his time frame when he was playing for Barcelona and Holland, right? Because
he played for.
It kind of confusing that you could have an experienced wing back like Van Bronckhorst and your wing backs are poor. So that goes to show me that you're not really the guy to kind of get the manager to have the manager listening to you and think. That's what I kind of say to overall to Slot and how Slot is treating others like he is, and I think that's the same thing he's doing to his current staff too as well, the coaching staff, not really giving them much credit and taking it all on his own to make certain decisions. So that's just what I think of it. Yeah.
What you're gathering. I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you mean, because you're right. He played for Arsenal too, I believe, too, back in the day. And I talk about Van Brockenhorst, and because Lee Wiskett was saying was VB Premier League. He played for Arsenal, but he didn't have a managerial career with them, I believe. I think he was all pretty much like Rangers and Dutch League, I think, was primarily what he was. But he did bring Feyenoord a title. He did coach them to a title. Yeah. So he's got. I'm not saying that he can't coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying that it's just maybe that could be something simple. That could be maybe one of the simple things. But let me give you some stats. Let me give you some stats for this game real quick, because the stats can sometimes show a perspective. Because if you want to know how deceiving possession can look sometimes, look no further. We had 67% of possession of the ball. Endless passes. We were in their territory for the good majority of the time. We had a lot of momentum in the first half and even in the second half. But none of it really matters, because if it poses no real danger. None of it matters if it meant we don't have control of the game.
Yeah.
None of it matters if it means that we're not imposing our identity on a team that is having to figure out how to stop the pain, as opposed to saying, bring it on. Bring it on. And if anything, being like, oh, you're going to allow for us to play too? Cool, let's have at it. Sunderland had compact shape. Sometimes I was looking at their team, they had at least they had stacks of 2 4s, but it was 4, and then in between those 4 players were another 4 players. So they had interchangeable 8 players practically in the box at times.
Yeah.
Aggressive pressing triggers. They had the best away defensive record in the league, by the way. They had one clear chance and they took it.
Yeah.
Liverpool maintained that poor form at home, which is troubling because we failed to score in the first half for the 4th straight league match.
Yeah.
We talked about. Go ahead, JP.
No, I just add into, and that's unheard of.
Yeah. I said on Matt's show, early on the Copper show, Matt was doing a segment, or it was the host of the show, solo host of the show. And I said that, the one thing that we have to watch out, the biggest concern is we can't concede first. If we concede first, you might as well just sign over the points. Because we're not coming away with 3 of them.
Yeah, we drop in points. Once we concede first, we drop in points. Yeah.
We drop in points.
Yeah.
The mentality goes. I'm not saying that there haven't been times when you've seen the effort step up, but that's normally when we're at a place and point where you have Chiesa or you have other players on the pitch that are just 100 miles per hour going forward, trying to get something. And there's no semblance of, oh, this is some systematic, system out there that is presenting this. This is just us going. I don't want to say the words, but going all to the wall.
Yeah. Right now, it feels, like if somebody, let's say there is this big scary roller coaster that everybody is talking about. It's like, if you go in that roller coaster, you're gonna die, you're gonna feel real scared. And then you go into the roller coaster ride, and then you just get a little comfortable drop, and it was like, that was it. And that's how I felt Sunderland feeling today. It's like when Wirtz converted the own goal, I was like, you're seeing these Sunderland players like, oh boy, this is what they're talking about, the Anfield. We're gonna feel it here now, fellas. Like we played, and it's like they were like, wait, this is the pressure and the cup end that everybody talking about. What this is it, and it's like usually in the last 10 minutes is a barrage of chances that would come in, and that the cup would suck in a goal, right? And that feeling is not there anymore, right?
How can it be?
It's not there, and it's like no pressing. No clean sheets, no goals as fluent as we have, no style of play, players looking dejected, no more Anfield atmosphere. Yeah. It is unheard of, and it is like I reached that point now where, I have to get back to that place where, are Liverpool going to be this dominant force again, or are we going back to the days before Klopp came to us, right? Because I'm not believing anymore, doubting, right? From believers to doubters. Klopp changed that philosophy for us. We were doubters before.
Slot is changed from believers
from believers to doubters.
That's scary.
12th man, think about it. I am here on a stream with you, worried about 2 newly promoted teams, bro.
Yeah. Yep. You're on a stream with someone that gets called Mr. Positive all the time.
Yeah, right.
What I'm saying,
it's like we're not talking about Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea. We talking about Sunderland into Leeds.
Right.
Sunderland into Leeds, and we have a possible chance of getting 1 point in those two games.
Hey, yeah, there is a segment that I've been trying to start up. It's called like Two Sides of the Coin. One's, obviously one's good, one's bad. I'm not Harvey Dent. Believe me, I'm not Harvey Dent to book people. But if we were to flip the coin here, I'd say the bright side of this was Florian Wirtz, once again, a promising performance. He was bright in the first half, quiet somewhat in the second.
But
due to tactics. Yeah, exactly. Because, Salah came on and that changes up the tactics completely.
Yeah.
And then but when he came on and that moment was there, he owned it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it went down as an own goal. I get that, but I personally think it was a goal. Again, I'm gonna have a little segment at the end of this to kind of gripe about John Champion as a commentator or as a presentator. Oh my gosh, he was like campaigning for it to be an own goal practically. For the 15 minutes, I had to hear him like spout on about how that was an own goal. It was an own goal. Yeah. I'm like, it was like, do you have money riding on this, man? Like, let it go. But anyway, it went down as an own goal. But the footwork was intense. The assistance was important. The refusal to accept defeat, that was all Wirtz. He's showing why the club spent 9 figures, which is important. And Liverpool, we need him even more in the next upcoming weeks. I said something. It didn't get acknowledged on Coppish, so I'll bring it up. This is the benefit of having your own show. I said this comment, and I'll see what your opinion of it is as well. Florian Wirtz has been looked at as being a luxury buy. When I mean a luxury buy, as this is an opportunity. Rather than someone that we were actively pursuing, it was, hey, this person is interested in going to your club, and you couldn't pass by the quality player that he was to go on. Even though we weren't in the market for a 10, we don't even play with a glorified 10 technically. Or at least the 10 that most people want to see, because all I heard about was the complaining last year about how Dominic Szoboszlai's not a 10.
Yeah,
and how he was like. He was anti-football as a 10 for us last season. According to a lot of people out there that now are riding Dominic's glory right now. No pause, but still, okay. Still, all the same. Dominic Szoboszlai, if you look at him as you get what I'm saying by a luxury buy. He was something that we could purchase. We got the buy and everything else. However, being that he was a luxury buy, isn't it kind of I want to say, isn't it kind of like not only a breath of fresh air that he chose Liverpool? So bummed what the Bayern Munich president saying in his stupid comments of being just butthurt. But it is a measure of what if FSG didn't spend the money for this luxury buy? Where would this team be without this phenomenal player? Despite him not getting the GA, I get all the other stuff. Maybe some of the people are going to come back at me with that. But all the same, you can recognize that that's a phenomenal footballer there.
Yeah.
And once he gets into the routine, once he becomes more of the central figure of this team, we'll continue to see the rewards for it. But he is a luxury buy. So that means that this club didn't really foresee us moving forward with a player of his caliber, but a player like him in this role for us.
Yeah.
I just think that we're fortunate to have the player, to be honest with you.
So me as a Liverpool fan, as I said before, I have seen transfers come in and go, and like when I saw the opportunity to get Florian Wirtz, even when it started off as a little first rumor, I was like, whoa, hey, wow, it would be nice to get Wirtz, So it kind of reminded me that when Torres came to to Liverpool under Benitez. Torres was the wonder kid, El Nino in Spain. He was tipped to go to Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
And he chose Liverpool, and I was like, wow, Torres coming to Liverpool. And when I heard, little traction, and it getting a little serious. Remember that saga went on a little bit too with by Leverkusen rejecting, and
multiple bids.
I said, whoa, this is really going to happen, and like I get where the YouTube people will always be on Florian Wirtz and that he's not getting GA and double O's, whatever, because at the end of the day, that's what getting you views for your channel, right? But any person who knows football, who has watched Florian Wirtz this season, right, playing with the proper tactics and playing the roles, could see he's a baller, right?
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz is that player that in order for you to get the ball off of him, you have to foul him or he has to make a mistake, right? There is no way you getting that ball off of Florian Wirtz unless you and like every time I see him play, and it's like it goes through my mind that is this real that I'm watching a player like this at Liverpool
on our team,
right? On our team, right? Because this guy, I'm telling you, this guy, as soon as he adapts to this Premier League, and it looking like he's starting to slowly
get his
build
legs.
into it, right?
Sure.
As soon as this guy gets settled in Liverpool, we are going to see one of the best Premier League players to play in the Premier League, especially for Liverpool, right? Because you could see it. Everything that Florian Wirtz does is like positive and decisive, and is not a risk. So you taking calculated risks. You finding pockets. You finding making the right decisions. You're good with your feet. He's the best press proven player on our team. So if you're looking to relieve pressure, just give him the ball. And it kind of hurts me that we not actually flowing through flow every time, because like if I had a player like Wirtz on my team, I look into, it's like Barca and Iniesta and Xavi and Messi. It's like Xavi and Iniesta was, once you give me the ball, I look into facilitate Messi as soon as possible, and that's the kind of caliber of player that he is. And I just glad to see that a lot of Liverpool fans actually seeing the caliber of player that we have, and it's good to see that the other Liverpool fans who will write him off and want to sell him in January and stuff starting to say, well, hold on a minute, maybe we could just slow it down a little bit, and because I didn't know he was this good, and that's because you're watching too much of YouTube, in my opinion, and you're not actually watching Liverpool play and watching what Wirtz is doing. You're just focusing on he costs 100 and something million. He needs to score and assist every game. It's impossible.
I think it's also a case where a lot of fans, not a lot of fans, but a good number of fans out there. I could totally generalize, but a good number of fans out there, when it comes to the games, they don't watch the games. They don't watch all the games, at least. If at best, sometimes fans of the game will end up watching just the highlights, maybe, or maybe they see the highlights and in the after shows and such. They get the perceptions of the pundits and what they have to say, and then that becomes their opinions. And they kind of rather than buck the trend and actually watch the intricacies of the game, like you're talking about, they get too caught up in, they only showed 2 highlights of him, so he must not have had a good game. Yet there's been 5-6 other, actual football actions on the pitch that were positive for us, but they're not highlight level type situations. Well, I'll say this too. Speaking of GA and everything else, conversation nobody wants to have. Liverpool looked tidier without Salah on the pitch. That's somewhat concerning and somewhat interesting. I'm not saying they look better because obviously we didn't get a goal in that first half. I'm not saying they look more dangerous. I'm just saying they looked a little bit tidier with the ball.
Yeah.
Again, it's why I emphasize, I believe personally, if this coach was bold, he would say to Salah, I'm going to bring you in closer. I'm going to bring you into more of like into that right central channel. You know how we have Wirtz playing a 10, but he plays in that left central channel more so than central. Tell Salah to bring his game in the right central, so he'll have space to go out wide, he'll have space to go in if he needs to go in, or he can try to attack the channel. That's at least my perspective that I would at least tell him to do, because I don't believe Salah necessarily has the confidence to attack fullbacks the way that we've known Salah to do. I mean attack a fullback the way he did in that 7-Up game where he made the butcher into the vegan butcher. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that really out of this player. And like, it's like he's second guessing himself sometimes with his takes. But Salah came on, he gave us a few trademark moments, then disappeared in the same fog the rest of the attack was living in. JP mentioned it earlier. Isak, he got minutes. He got all of 14 touches. Didn't get any impact in the game. Again, this team is a puzzle with what you're trying to do with the identity of this club. Yeah. I'm, again, going to put my own personal stamp in saying, commit to a 2-striker offense that is generated to put the ball at the feet of our strikers. Let them start to create. I don't want to see Cody have to do the same, dribble from, get it on the left side, cut in and take a shot. I don't want to see Salah on the out wide on the right, trying to take on a fullback and getting dispossessed. I don't want to see that any longer. Okay, I want to see a Wirtz that is central, if not left central. I want to see two the press-minded right and left midfielders in a Dom or a Grav or Curtis Jones or whoever on each side, pressing up to help create a real front press. And I want to see, I'm going to say it now, I would like to see Endo be placed in that DM role to hold down that spot as anchor DM, just so we can giving up this BS of counters and worrying about the back line, talking about Virgil van Dijk, or talking about Ibu, or having some performance where we have to discuss those two players. It is frustrating to see. If we're not going to see that, then I think we're going to continue to see these problems. Yeah, you can tell me different in the chat. JP, you can tell me.
Like 12. It just goes to show. Again, we bring it back to the player management. Again, how could you have a natural defensive midfielder and he's fit and you're not playing him, right? It people will argue and say, well, Endo is not good enough. No, if Endo, he's a international Japanese captain. I've seen Japan play. He can handle his own. He played against experienced teams before. It's just you need to play the guy. You need to play. So this was my criticism with Slot even last year. If you can't get the best out of a Japanese captain against no-name players, then to me you're not a good coach. That's just because Endo will get into that Sunderland squad and play for them. So it means that you have internationals, captains on your bench, and you're not utilizing them. you are literally telling Endo that the person who's probably on the bench for his country and not playing is better than you, Endo, right? And that is something that when you send across that message to players, it's very difficult for now that player to step up and give his all because the manager has no faith in me, right? And all these things, 12 man, what you're saying, and that's why, you know, when I saw you on stream, I say, let me come and get a little positivity. Let me come, yeah, because it's starting to reach this point where it's borderline bad and negative and disgusting what is happening, because remember, everybody at the club going through the same thing, and Endo and all of these players want to give their all for the club. They want to die for the badge, right? But you're not giving them the opportunity to do so, to the point where a guy saved your job today and you didn't give him credit, right?
Yeah.
And it's and you continue to disrespect.
That should be the first name out your mouth right there, is his name.
Over and over. Yeah. Yes, and exactly. It's like what irks me again too is when we look at the Liverpool setup and team. When Endo, because I remember Endo was not Klopp's first choice of the central defensive midfield in that season, but we end up getting Endo. And you could see right away, Klopp came in, hugged him, and say, don't worry, we need you, I need you, right? And straight off the bat, Endo was like, okay, yeah, if my manager have faith in me to bring me here, I'll do a job for my manager, right? And Endo had a good season that season, right? I remember Endo was scoring goals. That 4-3 we won against Fulham. When Trent scored the 4th goal, Endo was the one who came on. Endo was the one who scored the 3rd goal. And
against Fulham, right?
Fulham, yeah. And,
oh yeah, that game was the birth of the legend of Endo. I think.
And that's the beauty of what Klopp could do to a player like so Klopp transformed a defensive midfielder so good that he scoring goals, right, and doing his job. But my manager only playing Endo when we have a FA Cup game coming up soon, and that's if we get a
and then he's gonna put, we get a decent,
and he's gonna put a low ranked team, right? So
and then he's gonna put him surrounded with youth academy players.
And then
he's gonna put him with like some other fringe players and the likes. Then say, go out there and be somebody.
So it's ridiculous. I don't know what to say. I mean, like going into that Leeds game, Curtis Jones has to start. You need that legs in the midfield.
Curtis Jones should have started already. You're right. Curtis Jones should be starting already.
After the Frankfurt game,
I would have said just from his response that he gave in the press conference or the press interview. I said that's kind of attitude I want to see. And if you're going to say that on camera, in front of people, in front of thousands and millions of people, you know, if you're going to say that, chances are you're going to try to live to that expectation. You've now set the bar where you're going to go out there and get into tackles. You're going to get, you're going to show the quote unquote Liverpool style of play. And if not, then you're going to be held accountable to the words that you said. This is the level we need to play at. Now, you either play or you're not playing at that level. Look, I'm going to make this one thing clear too. Sunderland didn't come to survive; they came to compete in today. And for stretchers, they outplayed the champions. That is us still. We can still call ourselves that as long as possible. Okay. Broppy was definitely trying to be a bully. We all knew that was going to be the case. Lafie was a was a good maestro for them. He orchestrated a lot of different touches and creations for them. Aladerte marshaled the back line like a veteran of a top 6 club, which is scary to say about Sunderland. Liverpool, only flashes really. First nearly scored after a ricochet. McAllister hit the post. I thought McAllister was going to score in a header. Sabasali gave an absolute cracker of a shot that made the keeper make a very good save. But flashes aren't really what we're looking to see. I'm looking to see domination. I'm looking to see a team that goes out, and it's because you are playing your football so well, the chances come naturally. Not, oh, here we have an opportunity here or there. And, oh, here's a flash. Let's make the most of it. Hopefully we can. Credit to Curtis Jones for, I think, sparking the equalizer, and to Wirtz for forcing the issue. But still, this was not the performance of champions. I don't think this is even close to what we wanted to see. I'm going to give you, I think, what should have been the story of the day was possibly, Florian Wirtz's first goal, technically. At the time, his first goal. The Premier League confirmed it wasn't Wirtz's first goal. I get that. They have a real complex of trying to keep us in our misery.
Yeah. First assist, so same thing. Goal and assist. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So at least he get the assist. He get something. Yeah. So.
Right. That should have been the headline, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Did you have any feel-good moment of this game? I have one feel-good moment of this game. I think it's probably going to be the same that you're going to probably spark up. But did you have any feel-good moment of this game where you're just like, at least I could feel good about that moment, or feel good about the effort that was shown? If you want to think about, I'll give you mine. I'll allow for you to think about.
Yeah, no, I was bloody proud of Wirtz, and it's like, when you because I view a lot of streams, and I see the negativity that comes this guy way. And he's just a kid. He's 22, and I know he's on social media. You know his family, the German Federation, and Liverpool are supporting him. His players are supporting him as well. And it after the West Ham game, seeing the performance that he put in today, and the lead up to his goal is what Wirtz is all about. Right, the chop one and then chop another and then get off the shot. That's Florian Wirtz, and once he settles, that will be a running team. If people thought Grav had the Gravenberch turn in the midfield, wait until this boy settles, because once he gets into that pocket of space, he's going to chop you up and he's going to cause havoc, right? So that was my feel-good moment. Happy for the lad. His weight off of his shoulders. 2 good performances back to back in the Premier League, and let alone may it continue. You're going in a tough ground on Saturday, but I believe if we give Wirtz the ball, we will succeed in that game, because, as I said, the only way getting the ball off of him is by fouling him, right? And he will relieve a lot of pressure. If we don't play through him, then it's going to be a long night. So I just hope that Slot could see that this guy's our future, and that's my feel-good moment. Wirtz assist for the goal for Liverpool today.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We got 2 different ones, because mine was, I definitely wanted that to be the headline. I definitely wanted it to be the headline that he got this goal, if not a second goal, because he could have had a chance to possibly get 2. Yeah. But my play of the day, or my feel-good moment of the day, was, again, Federico Chiesa as the last man clearance in stoppage time.
Yeah, bro.
When Astor rounded Allison, I think all of Anfield and everyone out there was just like, this is going from bad to worse. But the one player that does not give up, that was on that pitch, was Chiesa. I didn't even see him in the picture.
Yeah.
He just all of a sudden like did some like, now you see me, now you don't, all of a sudden appearing like a magic trick. He saved the night because if that goal goes in, game over. I give credit to Allison for cutting off the angle. By the way, if he doesn't cut off the angle, then that means that Isidore would have had enough time to compose himself, get around the keeper, and just simply pass the ball practically into the net. But easily, I think that was the play of the day. Absolutely, Chiesa has to be called out for, or given credit for that. It shouldn't have needed to be that case, but Chiesa said never say never on that situation. I'm gonna do some quick player ratings with you, JP. So if you don't mind giving us your thoughts, because I'm going to say this wasn't a disaster, but it was certainly very close to that. If not, the point was this wasn't good enough of a performance. I'll start off with Ali. I think a couple big saves, a couple shaky moments. Saw way more action than he should have. However, I'm going to give Ali a 5 in this one. What's your rating for Ali?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. A little shaky with the passing to a couple of bad passes. The shot, the long shot that he kind of reacted to. So that's fair. Like 5 out of 10. I can't complain with that rating at all.
Okay. Yeah. Next is we're gonna go with Joe Gomez. Start on the right side. Steady early. I think he kind of showed the persistence of not having played, back-to-back games. Started to tire a little bit late in the game. Just possibly why he was a little bit late to getting to that ball that he ended up getting a yellow card on. Yeah. There's no way he was getting to it anyway. It was a good tactical foul, by the way. Gave everything but offered little thrust going forward, possibly because of what I just said. Yeah. I'm going to give Joe Gomez a 5 on this one. What was your score for Joey?
Yeah, I
know you don't want to be harsh. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, until he came off, I think that's when we looked a little shaky defensively. But I could agree with the 5 because the yellow card was, in my opinion, could have been avoided in terms of him, for me, dropping his rating because of that yellow card. Right, but solid, and because of the yellow card and that allowing him to come off, because remember, you're not fit and you're more susceptible to make error when you're not fit. So that's one of the reasons why Slot had to take him off and put Jones, because of the lack of, I would say, awareness for you to slide in like that and get that yellow card. Because I believe if he didn't get the yellow card, we're not taking him off at that time. Right.
Probably not.
So because of that, and then by him coming off, we then concede a goal. But that was like a minute after we concede a goal because of that too. So I could see the 5, the 5 out of 10. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll go with 5 too. Yeah.
I think unfortunately, if he was able to give us something going forward, we probably wouldn't have taken him off. But also him being on a yellow card, him being a little bit tired, and all those components together, we find another midfielder playing right back for us, which is not what we wanted to see. Yeah. All right. Unfortunately. Let's move next door to him, which is Ibu. Konate battled robbery all night. I think he won some of the battles, maybe lost a couple against him. Survived the matchup more than controlled it, I think, in this game. I'm going to give Konate a 5 in this game, too. That might be harsh. You might go a little higher or lower.
Yeah, I will go a little higher. Konate, just 1 or 2 little mistakes this game. He handled his striker well at times. It was a good battle, good fierce battle. He made a good defensive clearance when Alisson made the error, and the guy crossed it in, and it was somebody at the back post, so he had to
Oh, that if
Because,
he. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
if he didn't do that, I think that's a goal. Yeah,
That's
so
a goal.
like,
He had to make an extra.
I would
Yeah.
just, I mean, I've seen him play better, but I've also seen him play worse. So I think I'll just give him a 6. A
Okay.
6, just above up, a 6 out of 10. A little solid this game, but like he defended well. So apart from a deflection goal, I can't really blame my defense as much this game because a deflection thing. So the next guy we come into, I could
Yeah.
start with him.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so
All right. Well,
like,
give me
I
a. Go
mean,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just
yeah,
just roll into VVD.
So I'll give VVD a 5, and the reason why I'm giving him a 5 is because for me VVD is one of our most important defenders for aerial duels. I've noticed in this game and the games in past, he clears a lot of he gets a lot of first ball, so he relieves a lot of pressure when we have the long throws or corners or long balls coming at us. But today, that pass after you got a chance to clear the ball and you passed into midfield.
He passed it
And
recklessly into.
then you're
into
not
Maka.
closing down the shot again. You're just trying to stick your body out to block the shot. That's where the rating will drop for me to the 5, because you made a bad error, one, with the pass into midfield, and then you didn't go to close down the pass, and the deflection came off of you. So for me, Van Dijk, 5 out of 10 today. And the reason why I gave him the 5 out of 10 is because people will argue and say, nah, he was bad at 4 or 3. I don't watch a game in isolation of a player mistakes. I saw in the game Van Dijk had a good amount of crucial headers that if he didn't make, it means that a Sunderland player gets in the first ball or second ball. So I can't just look at a mistake and just out of frustration give a defender a 1 or a 3 when he had won most of his aerial duels and things. So for me, a 5 out of 10 for Van Dijk.
Yeah, headers 1. He had the one particular one I'm thinking of is the one where the two Sunderland players actually hit each other in the head, and one went down, but he actually made contact with the ball. If he doesn't, one of them most likely is going to hit that, direct that it towards net, and that's a problem for us. Headers 1, presence felt, but I just think that I would have given him I would have given him a 5, but I gave him a point off because I just think that the one massive error cost a goal. It's hard to ignore. It was a bad pass, and rather than just like as you said, rather than put your body on the line or like try to go out there and eat up the space between you and the offensive player, he decided to or defend. Exactly. Big up, KJ. Got here just in time.
Big up, bro.
Big up to JP.
Yeah, man.
Did you want to comment on VVD, or did you want to just roll right into a rating for Robbo?
Yeah, I mean, you see the error here. I don't think it's a bad pass. The pass was kind of short. But I think that's more on McAllister because he was too high and he just didn't have the legs to even come and receive the ball. Don't get me wrong. By then, to be fair, by like the 70th minute, you could tell that Maka's legs had somewhat gone and he needed to be rested in terms of giving a break. But the fact that it was still on, I don't really blame Virgil for that because instead of just hoofing the ball forward, he's actually tried to play. And McAllister was there. It's not like he wasn't. He just didn't have the legs to step into it. But I can't really disagree with 5.5 for Virgil van Dijk.
Okay. All right. Robbo got to start in this game. I thought he was solid, but unspectacular. He intervened well at times. I think he was rarely a threat going offensively in the pitch. I don't think that was much going through the left-hand side of the pitch with his name on it. I gave Robbo my ratings today are pretty abominable, but I gave him a 5.
Yeah.
I gave him a 5. I think because this game was a game which we saw, you could see I knocked off maybe a point or two for what they probably should rightfully have, but I gave Robbo a 5 in this one, and everyone knows that Robbo is my guy.
I think 5's fair. I think
me too. I can't complain with that. I like it, especially solid defensively, a good game. No real threats coming down the left side anyway. So yeah, but like in terms of what frustrated me with Robertson today was his crossing and kind of like hesitation to pass to Wirtz. There were a couple of times where Wirtz was out wide and in the pockets, and I was like, give him the ball. Give him the ball, and you make a run. He will find you. And he slowed it down. He didn't pass the Wirtz. He recycled the ball, and I was like, oh, why are we not understanding that we have to feed this guy, give him the ball, and let him do his magic? And
did you mean in the second half?
Problem.
Did you mean in the second half when he was like pretty much ignoring Wirtz kind of thing?
Yeah. But in the first, so Kij, the first half, there was one when Wirtz was free, on the left in the first half, and he made a long
U-shaped run, a
long cross, and I was saying, give Wirtz to take on the wing back 1-on-1 because Wirtz was going, he would have had 1-on-1 with his defender, right? You didn't give him the opportunity, and now I don't mind my wing back crossing. So, but if you make a bad cross, then I would be like, I prefer to give it to somebody who could have probably made a better cross than you. And so that's where I get frustrated with Robbo. And then there was another time he made a good Van Dijk send the ball into him, and he was transitioning up to the pitch, and Wirtz was in the pocket calling for the ball. And instead of playing it into Wirtz, 2 Sunderland players closed him down, and then he had to recycle the ball. And I was like, oh, come on, Robbo. Give him the ball. That's the guy we're trying to play through. So defensively, solid. Offensively, wasn't there for me today. And I can't complain with a 5. 5 is just,
Okay.
I think that's a byproduct of both the tactics and his relationship with Gakpo, because like we said, Robbo was pretty much solid defensively and not much really come down the left-hand side in terms of threats. But the Wirtz thing, especially in the second half, I feel like that's a byproduct of slot ball, because I don't know if it was just you guys, but the whole tactics changed in the second half.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you notice that when Salah came on, we was doing what we was doing all season again? All the play, Salah gets the ball and everybody runs to the left-hand side of the pitch.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
We don't have Trent
this
anymore, so I don't understand. We didn't even use this when we had Trent, so why are we using this now? It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I think the reason why they're trying, and this is my personal opinion, but I think the reason why they're trying to do what you just asked, I think you agree. I think we have a lot of players that are more capable, or more comfortable, I should say, playing off that left channel or playing off that left side. And also, I think when we do get the ball to Salah, and again, this is just my personal take, I think it's a possibly poor way, but it's certainly a effort to try to open the pitch up for him a little bit, like as in give him space to have space to run into, kind of take on the defender in front of them, get a little separation and make a cross or make a shot, 1-2, and they're not like kind of bumping into each other like the way that we saw, one time when we saw Ekitike and Salah kind of both like occupying the same space on the pitch. That's just my perspective, but I mean, you're right though. We went back to tried and tested, and unfortunately tested to see not be successful for us.
Yeah,
Um,
my point being, sorry, because I did kind of make you guys go on a tangent. The
that's okay.
overriding point I wanted to make on it is like, it's not even so much to do with Salah. It's more like because Wirtz pretty much stayed on the pitch. In the first half, he was in the 10 pretty much. He was able to interlink, connect with players and whatnot. And then in the second half, you know, we was on Robbo, so I'll say it when we get to Wirtz in it.
Okay. Okay. Big up to FP in the house. Big up. Big up. Well.
Oh, big up
Let
fake
me.
pundit. I see him about all the time.
Okay. Okay. Let me get. I mean, there's not many players I have a sound effect for, and that shows you how much I do like this player. But Ryan Gravenberch.
4.
Moments of quality, moments of nothing. Still searching for rhythm. Looks like a player that is kind of stuck in this, wanting to play his game and trying to play Slot's preference of what he wants the game to be. I gave Grav 8.5 in this game.
I give him a 4.
We gave him a 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with KJ. Like, for me, and 12 man, you know this. I rate Gravenberch as well, but like, for the past couple of games, it's like his passing and his presence is starting to slowly diminish.
His passing is diminished. I mean,
yeah, it's like and it's like, to me, I don't know if you guys, you could tell me if I think, I don't know if you got, but like, to me, I just feel like Gravenberch could simplify his game a little better by just passing the ball to Flo and let Flo transition the ball from the defensive to into Wirtz, so that the link up play with Wirtz could be easier for you now, not having to make those kind of Hollywood passes, and you kind of link play through Wirtz, because Gravenberch has running power, and we all know he has license to bomb forward. But like, to me, he kind of tries to force passes too much now, and his presence defensively and the midfield is not as strong as it was in our title-winning season last year. And it's like, when Gravenberch was on the pitch last year, I could safely say 7 out of 10 comfortably for most games. And now it's like, what going on here, Gravenberch? Is a shadow of the player. Are you injured? What is going on? And I just feel like some of that could be avoided by just pinging the ball into Wirtz and giving that support, and rather than you forcing certain passes. So for me, today again, Gravenberch a 4, and I had to agree with KJ in that. Yeah.
Wow. All right, so I don't feel as bad. Well, let me just say, I don't feel as bad now, because I was giving out some low grades earlier. Now I'm getting. Now you guys are undercutting it. So all right, it's cool.
I think it looks a little leggy to me. I think this new role we've given, where he's got the license to go more, is having an impact on him, especially because he don't get as much rest as anyone in the midfield, really, and he's obviously been given a lot of responsibility. And with that, like, there was not a 50-50, but I would say, I think there was one stage in the first half, the ball kind of bobbled in and around the 18-yard box, and it fell outside the box. So let's just say roughly about 23 yards outside the box. It was 60-40 in Grav's favor, and he just didn't have the legs to get there, and he didn't get there. And I'm like, whoa, like that moment there was a big eye opener for me. And I was just like, Grav's looked leggy up until that point, and that was in the first half. And from there, I was just like, yeah, Grav needs a rest. Like, I don't think he's injured. He don't look like he's carrying anything, so he don't look leggy in the same manner that I say McAllister looks leggy. But he needs a break. Grav needs a break. He needs to be rested.
Mhm.
Like
A
I'm
lot of
actually
players.
concerned that Grav need, especially in this period of time right here where games are pretty much every 2-3 days. Yeah, I'm seriously concerned because now today was a prime example of the double pivot just non-existent.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think one issue too, bring up to your point, and then I'll make sure to keep it rolling to McAllister, is that if you do look at the substitutions that this coach made, unfortunately, this coach had to make substitutions as substitutions more for need than maybe out of or necessity than he did out of luxury or being able to provide players rest. As in, he might have had to go with Gravenberch longer than he possibly would want to. Maybe if he could give the opportunity to get Endo in or get maybe Curtis Jones in for him and provide some relief that way. But because we had to bring on Ekitike for goals, or we had to bring in Salah trying to chase goals, because we had to bring in Curtis Jones again to replace a right back position that we should have a right back already covering for, because we are now all of a sudden bringing in a Kirkes, for which doesn't really make much sense as to why we brought Kirkes in, to be honest with you, or at least in my opinion, at least. But swapping out Robbo to bring in Kirkes. Those kinds are weird. They're kind of weird substitutions. I understand Isak still needs to get his 90 minutes in, or a 90-minute, health or form and fitness into him. But I mean, we're taking off 120 million pound, 120 some or 130 million pound striker that we paid for. We're taking them off when we're searching for a goal. How often do you see Manchester City taking off Haaland when they're searching for a goal? You don't see many teams taking off their perennial goal scorer or their main goal scorer or to possibly bring on a player. Not saying Chiesa is a letdown, but I mean, like, just to say that he's a player that should still be on the pitch.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll get back to these ratings real quick. The bite was back today for this player a little bit. Unfortunately, he was aggressive. I thought he was energetic. He's impactful. I thought he was one of the better Reds, but I think that he just came up a little short when times were needed. That's McAllister. I gave him a 6. That's not it doesn't necessarily match my words, I would say, and possibly a high rating for him. But yeah, I gave McAllister a 6. I have some. Let me see if I can bring up some stats for you. He was 88% of his passing. He was 86% passing in the opposition half of the pitch. I thought he had a really good opportunity to score on that one header that was well placed. What we don't see too much of, and maybe it's because of what you stated about his legs, but we don't see him making a lot of those runs that he got involved in this previous season, and even more so the season before that, where we're getting goals from our midfield from McAllister. Now he's a little bit further pressed back in our format. What did you guys give him? I obviously gave him a little bit lower than a 6. So let me hear it, GKJ. What did you give Maka? You can be honest.
I gave him a 3.5. Go on,
wow.
JP.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, man,
genuinely,
I know what game you want to do with them.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. Look, I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. Listen, I actually gave him the same as Grab, but then JP reminded. Well, no, you 12 actually reminded me of the free header.
Mm-hmm.
That's what marked me down again.
That's why you took him down.
3.5. Yeah,
because he didn't get that. Oh wow,
that was like clear cut, and I agree. I feel like this season we've asked Matt to kind of drop a bit more, and I don't get it because it's like we've reversed Mac and Grav. We've gave Matt more license to. No, we've gave Grav more license to go forward, and Mac, we've kind of got him. He for me, it's like he just plays in the middle third of the pitch.
Yeah.
And last season, like you said, 12, he was able to contribute within the final third, whether that was the pass before the assist, or whether that was contributing with goals himself. And it's like, we've just saw a different McAllister this year. Like I says, I feel like it was 3.5 or 4. Well, I'll give him a 4 then. I'll still give him a 4, but I don't think he was better than Grav. I think they was both as bad as each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was.
All right.
Sway me, JP. Sway me.
I actually, I'm glad you went first, because I thought I was watching a different game. Like I saw parts. So like for me, McAllister,
Maka, yeah.
Maka, passing, his forward passing, as I said, is really the only positive thing I could say about Maka right now. It's in terms of his game, and like everything else is just trees and fours. Like his pressing is not there. He's late to the ball. He is the reason why I think we had to play so deep and back is because most of the times when he pushes up and we in transition, it's difficult for him to come back and have the legs to come back. And it's like I was watching the midfield today, and I was like screaming for Curtis Jones. Like I was saying, like Curtis Jones should have started this game in terms of helping us to relieve a little more pressure and to get that press, so that Sunderland wouldn't feel that comfortable in Anfield. Because I believe 12 man, the reason why we kept that formation is because the fact that McAllister, if we lose the ball, is a little leggy back in defensive transition.
Oh yeah, he has no pace.
And I think we kind of let Sunderland have the ball in front of us rather than we losing the ball and then the ball behind McAllister that he can't recover. So I think that was a big part of it. But my question to the manager was why we didn't just start Curtis Jones and keep that pivot of Gravenberch and Curtis Jones to kind of give a little more legs in the midfield, so we're not worrying about a player struggling to get back in transition. So like for me, McAllister and Gravenberch didn't really do anything outstanding for me to give them a higher rating than a 5, or even, as you said, Turkman, even a 6. Yeah, so like, I would say 4 for me.
Okay, so let me give some clarity to why I did rate him so high, because I know I did.
He needs some milk.
Earlier for KJ when he said that, but maybe I need some milk. But pause. I don't know if any of the pause are now on that one. But let me say it like this.
Fine.
Okay. Statistically wise, okay, yeah. I said the 88% passing rate that he had. The majority of his passes, only had 14 passes, 12 out of 14 in his own half. Was 50% for his long balls accuracy. But why I was saying it is beyond the fact that he only had 2 shots. One of them hit the woodwork. He had 72 touches. He was 0 for 1 for his dribbles. He didn't have that many dribble attempts, but he was fouled once. He had 2 out of 2 tackles. He had 4 clearances. He had 4 recoveries. He had 3 out of 5 ground duels that he won. He wasn't a negative when it came to being on the pitch, I think, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying he was like a glaring positive. I wasn't saying that, he could have been the real difference maker on the pitch. Unfortunately, he has been that for us before, and that's why maybe it's notable to see that he's not being such today or before in previous matches, especially. But that's why I gave him a 6. I just thought that, like, if you did look at some of the statistics, it kind of nudged me into going from a 5 to a 6 for him, because I didn't think he had that many. I didn't think he was that poor. And then when I saw the statistics to back up the fact that he didn't lose, I mean, he was winning tackles, he was winning ground duels for the most part, and that's not something that you want to necessarily have to rely on Maka for. But when he's giving it to you, or when he is actually forced to perform, he actually gave us some of that today. That at least the statistics at least suggest that. But I can understand why you gave him a low score, because a lot of the difference is exactly that pass from BVD. You're right. There was space for him to run into that pass and be able to take it and go, but it seemed like he looked at it and said, "Yeah, that's far." You know what I mean? Like that's what it seemed like, or something. So like that was poor. All right. Well, then let's move on to Dom. He was active, involved, dangerous from range. That was a great. He peppered one of those shots at the goalkeeper. I think he needs to have more runners in front of him. But the way that it's set up is like, you're running against a packed box of like 8 guys in the box. It's going to be very difficult to get through all that through those trees. I gave Dom a 6. Is that too high too, or is that too low? What would you guys think for Dom?
Nah, I think Dom again was probably our best player on the pitch, genuinely.
Okay.
And that just goes to show how low the bar
is. Yeah.
Like, and not just in general in terms of for the season, but even today's game. Like, I think we all can agree we don't mind how the first half played out. I think we all would have wanted it to be, in terms of the passing, to be a lot faster, probably a lot more, because at times it was fluid, but it was just, we slowed it down too much. I felt like we gave Sunderland too much respect, considering we was actually home and not away. But once again, I think Dom was the best player on the pitch, and it's not that he didn't do anything fantastic or scintillating, but he was the one pretty much trying to make things happen. And if the option wasn't there, he'd at least have a goal for himself. Like, and he wasn't hitting shots from, I'd say, ridiculous, like McAllister's shot. He shouldn't have shot from there when he shot, in my opinion, when he took the long shot. But the times where Szoboszlai did, there was nothing else on. And for most of his shots, he actually hit the target. Fair enough, the keepers made easy saves, but what else is he meant to do in those positions? Nothing. Like, he may as well test the keeper, and I don't mind Szoboszlai testing him because he's got the range for it.
So you're saying,
I'd agree with the
are you
6,
basically 6? Are you giving him a 6 because of the effort, or because if you look at his statistics, they're not that phenomenal of statistics.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, he had 99 touches, 3 unsuccessful touches. He had 1 out of 2 dribbles, but he lost the ball 24 times. And he had 5 recoveries, which is good, but he was 1 out of 5 for his ground duels. And obviously he gave up a foul, and he gave up an error that led to a shot. So, and I would like to state, I was actually disappointed that he went to, at the end of the game, which is surprising too, because not many people tell Mohamed Salah what to do, but he kind of overseated Mohamed Salah about to line up to take that corner, and he told him, "Hey, I'm going to take this corner," and
31st one.
Yeah, ended up doing it. It was the last cross we had of the game. Yeah. This is the last cross we're going to be able, the opportunity we're going to have, and for you to put up that effort, that's not good, bro.
No, I agree. I do agree. I do feel like I gave him 2 faults in the game. I think the first one was when he got dispossessed and it led to a shot, and then I agree, the corner at that point in the game as well. Like, you, as good as you are from set pieces, you're probably better at the edge of the box at that point in the game, because if it falls to anyone outside the box for us to say hit it, it's him.
Yeah.
I would say, so like, I agree with the 6, but my 6 is more like leaning towards not like towards he was the best player on the pitch for me. Like, I was disappointed in Szoboszlai in terms of his delivery. Just like 12-man said, that I'm not sure if you all remember, there was a cross he had on the right where both Isaac and Etitike, so I think Isaac was making the run first post and then Etitike was last post, and he chose Etitike, but he overhit the pass. And I was like, Szoboszlai, you have enough quality to get that ball to my strikers, because you are, in my opinion, he is actually one of the best technically gifted players on the team for Liverpool. And it was kind of like disappointing for me, his crosses, his corners, as 12-man said. Like I actually wanted him to take the corner over Salah because
Oh, you did want it. You did want that to happen.
Because
okay.
You saw it this season, that especially from that side, if he brings in a good delivery, Van Dijk has connected a couple of times this season, and Salah didn't really. Salah on corners not really doing it for me. I understand it because it's not the outers or in-swinger coming in, but I was actually calling for Dom, please, you take the corner and then you deliver that. And I was like, wow, bro, come on, what going on? And just for me, Szoboszlai will always get a natural 6 because of his work rate off the ball. His legs is always there, and I just worry now that we just keep playing this guy, and eventually by January he might pop his hamstring or something with the overuse that we are playing him. But like, it for me, his delivery and his passing today wasn't really on point. He had a couple of shots that routine, I would say, wasn't any dangerous thing. The keeper made a good save, but like routine shots. And for me, because he's always given that effort and stuff, he will just get a natural 6 for me. But like, I believe that with his quality and better deliveries, it could have been bumped up to like a 8 with an assist, at least in this game. So that's why I'll stick with a 6.
Fair, I would agree with that on a whole, to be fair, because it's not like I was impressed with Szoboszlai's performance, but I just felt like he was our best midfielder, and with how Mac and Grav was today, he was running for the both of them as well. Like he normally does for at least. Szoboszlai always does running for 2 players, one person that's in the attack and one of the midfielders.
Yeah.
So he will always get a 6 out of 10 for me because of that. Because that is very important as well. What Szoboszlai does for this team, he covers a lot of cracks for us. Like every time I watch Szoboszlai play, it's like you're on a sinking ship and you don't have enough men to patch the water coming into the boat. So Szoboszlai trying to
he's got the one.
That's what I see.
He's got the bucket.
Without that guy, the ship will sink faster. So that's why for me, Szoboszlai will always get a 6 out of 10 because he does a lot of run. I just concerned because with that much running every game.
I'm concerned about what you're going through.
It could get to that point in January where the muscles will give out, and that will be like weeks.
They did before.
Yeah.
The year that we were in first place that year, by the way, a year that people often try to, symbolize as being, Klopp didn't win with this team, blah, 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 and yet that year we were in first place going into January. And when we went into January, it was a season that I was very, very optimistic because I thought that I was looking forward to seeing what we would get from Dom in that right wing role when Salah was going to be going to AFCON, and unfortunately he got hurt as AFCON hit. We were now without Salah and we were out without Dominic to play in that role. And he was in decent form, but he was. The workload that he had was immense over that period.
Well, I wouldn't even just quickly before you move on.
Yes, do it.
I wouldn't even go back as to put it in the club to even say about Szoboszlai in the club system, because let's be honest, Klopp's football was rock and roll football, high risk, high reward. So we all knew what came with Klopp ball, and that was injuries, muscle injuries at that. Obviously, at the same time, that was Szoboszlai's first season adapting to the Premier League. So physically, he wasn't up to par. Look how Wirtz is getting up to par. So Szoboszlai had to do the same thing in his first season. But let's just use last season as an example. He didn't really get injured much and whatnot, but he wasn't rested. And the fact that he wasn't rested by both legs of the PSG game,
Yeah, he
like
was
his,
gassed.
he was gone. Literally in the first 25 minutes, after 25 minutes for both games, he was gassed. He was gone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even worried about the injury. Like, of course I'm worried about the injuries, but with Slot's record at keeping players fit, that gives me confidence. I'm worried about every time players get leggy on the Slot because we don't play clock ball. So the way we get leggy is genuinely from
Doesn't
lack
make
of
sense.
rotation, lack of rest. And then at the same time, it's like, what are you asking the players to do? And more so Szoboszlai and Wirtz, because they're the pressers of the team.
Yeah, boy.
I would include Jones, but he don't play enough.
Great points. Great points. We do have I don't know if you saw my private chat or not, but I know that Mr. HTKR9ZG, something like that. Now, that's a new name for him. He was in our chat before under another name. I believe he's a Spurs fan, so maybe that's the reason why he is trying to connect the whole. Would you settle for 17th and Champions League, because it's very similar scenario that he had to go under Ange in the sense of 17th in a Europa. You know, I guess he's one of the few Spurs fans that didn't rejoice over finally winning something and enjoying the Europa. And I think Lee stated the question right. I just wanted to bring clarity to it. The question that I saw, at least that was asked of me, was it wasn't a question of will you accept 17th or something like that? Would you accept 17th and the UCL? It's not a matter of accepting the 17th place, but it was more of I'd be disappointed that we got 17th. Of course, I mean we're the reigning defending champions, but would I accept the Champions League? Absolutely. What am I going to say? Well, I don't. Yeah, we got 17th place, so take this Champions League trophy back. We don't deserve it because we got 17th place, and that's if we got 17th place. I don't think we're going to get 17th place.
Yeah.
As poor as we are, Mr. Head Tapped or whatever it is, as poor as we are, let me remind him, we are 2 points off of 4th place in this league. If you were to tell me that we would be so poor right now, poor, and yet be 2 points off of 4th place.
That is bad. That is bad. I just hope United don't win tomorrow.
Let that sink in. Being told you're gonna end up in 17th place. That's a stupid scenario. We're not gonna end up in 17th place.
Yeah, it's not comparable because at this point of the season last year, like you could tell you and Spurs was nowhere near any Champions League places, like nowhere near. The fact that we're only 2 points away, like
and then he's saying something. You'd accept being known by Manchester United and Real Madrid fans as being the worst ever UCL winners, but you cry about standards. First off, I'm not crying. Second off, when I do respond to trolls, I do say with heart and with pride, how many CLs do you have? Because you're not a Liverpool fan. How many Champions Leagues do you have, Mr. I have standards? I bet you that I can honestly say, no matter what team you represent in the Premier League, I can tell you that my club has double, if not more, than your club has currently.
Well, in the chat, when he first asked the question, when he first mentioned it, he says 17th and a trophy. The fact that you're specifying the Champions League now, I look on that a bit different now because it's the Champions League. If it was the Europa League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, no chance am I taking that. No way. No way. Obviously, it can't be the Premier League either because you finish in 17th. But the Champions League, I seen us finish 5th and lift the Champions League. So
exactly.
I
remember the 90s. Trust me on that.
If
That's why I like Simon's like the glory hunter thing or something like that. He's now in his 30s. Congratulations. Apparently you remember vividly you're being a supporter at 7 and 8 years old and trying to, I guess, document that as being reason that you're more of a fan than others. If you're a Liverpool fan, as you say you are, the sheer fact that you would ever really come at a supporter like myself, much less supporters that are on the panels here, and try to claim that we're not real supporters or people in the chat aren't real supporters of this club, show that I would question if you are a Red supporter.
Yeah, over here
the whole sentiment of this channel is supporting Reds.
Yeah,
the whole sentiment of this channel is being able to discuss and have discourse, to have discussion, okay, and discourse about our club that we love and we want to see succeed, and we want to do it in the most respectful way and respectful manner as we possibly can, considering the normal temperature or the normal content that you do see on the internet. A lot of these other channels are all about trying to cook people, not having serious debates, not trying to have some serious discussions, not bringing up factual points, not discussing, not trying to bring history or trying to bring out, out of the box conversation. But to be told by someone that is in his 30s or something like that, he's in his 30s now. I don't know how long he's been following. You say you're a Liverpool fan or following the team, okay?
Yeah, I'm the same. Well, I don't know if I'm the same age, but we must be from the same generation. I'm in my 30s as well, so
exactly. And the thing about it was interesting is that he's trying to reference someone who's been watching the game as long as he's been alive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you hear these comments and you sit there and you say to yourselves, mate, I'm not the one to be going at right now. I'm not the one to target your frustrations at. If anything, I'm trying to be the most civil and have conversations with knowledgeable panelists, knowledgeable people in the chat. There are some people that know more about the history of Liverpool than all of us will ever know.
Yeah, he hasn't met Norm.
Oh, no, exactly. So
he
hearing
definitely
this
ain't met Norm.
Exactly. So hearing this take from someone just ready to go and say, I'm going to go wild and just try to, spray fire at everyone in the room. You don't understand what we're trying to emphasize is the culture of Liverpool on this channel. Yeah. And if that's not the take that you had since 6-year-old, Mr. I'm in my 30s right now, if you're not adult enough to understand that we're trying to have an adult conversation here, then this isn't a channel for you then. As simple as that. That's what I'm trying to get across. Because we're trying to have some real conversations. On this panel, not often, we do not have the same opinions. Yeah. We do not have the same.
Even in the chat, the community over here, the chat, the community, the panelists, yourself, 12, you won't find anyone as real, as level-headed, as objective, as passionate as anyone over here is.
In this community.
Yeah, in this community, genuinely, like you won't. You're not gonna. Yeah.
Oh no. I apologize. I was gonna say.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He's referencing about is there a difference between match-going fans in the club or those that watch it on television, obviously? And guess what? A good number of the people that are in our chat, the reason why they congregate in our chat is because they go to the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of the people that have conversation and bring conversation to our mix are match-going fans that follow the club.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can say that for yourself, Mr. Head Tapped, but I can say that for my brethren that are in our chat that come correct by knowing what the climate is with the club because they follow the club. Mm-hmm. It's not just all about what the internet is trying to spout. It's about what I believe is an honest opinion. And I'm not saying just because you don't go to the games, you can't have an opinion on the team, because obviously I'm not able to go to every game or any game really right at this moment.
I was a match-going fan up until COVID.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I went to every single game every season, but I'm no stranger to Anfield.
Exactly.
I love this. I love the city. So there's times where, like occasions and things like that, we choose to go out in Liverpool. Like I love the city. I love the club more than probably anybody who lives local. I've heard of Scousers that support United. Genuinely,
let's not go too far.
I've seen them on panels and that. I've saw like Scouse people who's lived like not far from Anfield who support United. That is crazy to me.
That's crazy. Everton Scousers.
Yeah. I'd accept Everton, but Scouse United fans. What? No. And they're on YouTube, so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a strange take to have. That's the reason why I'm trying to emphasize the fact of, like, you got to read the room too. If you're going to get a good sense of what it is, and you're trying to get acclimated to what we are about in this channel, or what we are about in the chat, or in the panels that we conduct, you got to recognize the fact that I think that this channel tends to be the most like calm, sensible channel, one of the more calm, sensible channels out there, where you can have people not talk over each other, where you can have people try to, like, it's not about me trying to cook you or something like that. Like, you might not have the same opinion as me, because I'm not going to call you stupid or you're this or that or whatever, or trying to put you down or be disrespectful. I want to hear your point. I want to maybe enlighten myself with a different take as to what it is, And the one unique thing about a lot of the panels that we put together, the one unique thing about the people in the chat, is that if you really look at our CVs, you would kind of take a step back and be like, I apologize for coming out and saying the rude comments I mentioned.
Yeah.
There's some of us have done some pretty incredible things and been connected to some pretty incredible football aspects of the game, or connections to the game. And I think that is something that we value, and it's something that, again, one of the main reasons why I've always tried to be a part of this community, or this internet community. I'll get off my soapbox. I apologize. But
no, it's fine, man. Talk your talk, because at the end of the day, me and you became acquainted from the chat in Coppish. And I didn't even know you had a channel. Like, look, we built up a relationship for how long? And then the moment I noticed you had a channel, I was over here. I've been here like every day.
Day one, definitely. Day one. And that's what I mean by OGs, day ones, people that recognize the fact that there's channels that I don't agree with at all. Okay. And some that kind of can get to the point where a lot of the internet has gone, that are just, you turn them on and you can only stand so much before you're turning them off. But I still try to give them a like. If they're a Red supporter, I still try to give them the support of being someone that tuned in just to hear. I see it as I might not like I might watch what's on one side of the news, but I'll watch the other side of the news as well. So I know both sides of the fence. Okay, I'm level-headed enough to do that. And I can't emphasize enough the fact that, like, on this channel, we're about trying to at least just hear each other's points out. We might not agree with each other, but the point is, we're all Reds. We all want to see the success of the club. And
me and you agreed with certain things after the PSV game. I think to do with Salah. And that was like, me and you pretty much agree with most things, or somewhat have a similar view on most things, but we don't agree with everything. And even then, like, we had the debate on stage and we agreed to disagree. We both saw our separate points, but at the same time, we both came away from it knowing a bit more. So say, for example, you said your points as to why you felt your way, which I then took on and was like, okay, I can understand now why you think what you think, and vice versa.
Exactly. JP's got a great story on Beijing Reds. We had a very similar circumstances, whereas we didn't see eye to eye on
and it was like,
but I listened to JP's point, and I can respect what he was saying, and I can understand the angle of what he was talking about. And I can be like, that's enlightening. That's only going to enhance your conversation and knowledge base when you try to address the point.
Yeah.
So often people just go off of vibes and feelings
And
they don't
emotion.
look back.
Yeah.
Emotions. They don't look back.
And it's because as KJ, like I think KJ, by chance you do Monday night therapy with Kopish and Big Sick Banks and you on that stream too as well?
I'm not on there as like no regular or whatnot.
Oh, but like you do from time to, because your voice sounds.
Yeah. I've been asked. I think I've been on there like a few 3 or something times now. Yeah.
KJ is someone that that the streets respect.
Yeah. So it's like
the streets respect.
There's a lot of chaos. And then
you know what it is. You know what it is.
Trying to hold back everybody to kind of So
it's just exactly what 12 says.
I get to meet you and
I just support the guys, like literally, and obviously the ones who I feel like I relate more with. I'll obviously show more love to, but like say for example with Monts on Big Six Bands, that's not even me and Monts just have a genuine mutual respect for each other. Like we don't agree with when it comes to takes. Me and Monts are like pretty much opposites. Like we when it comes to Liverpool, we pretty much disagree with basically everything. But in terms of like how we've just built up a relationship, like we respect each other, like
that's a Liverpool trait.
So even when, because I didn't expect to be asked to jump on or nothing like that, and when I basically made a channel because I just had enough of, especially this season, like the discourse that was going on around us. I felt like everybody was I felt like everybody was doing too much and things like that. And like this is why I respect 12 and like his channel and everyone in this community, and obviously there's other Liverpool content creators who are pretty much the same, and this is why I respect them more, because it's a case of like we understand who we are, we understand what we are, we understand our club and the expectations that come with our club, but at the same time we're a club who carry ourselves different to the rest of clubs. So even us as fans need to upkeep the standards of how we represent the club. And that means even if, look how this season's gone, like I'd admit I'm Slot out now. It was Forest for me, but it's not because I didn't want to back the manager. I always back managers. Genuinely. It was more so not even because I don't like the guy. I do. I just genuinely feel like what he's did this season, and like what he's did this season in terms of how he's set us up, it's been so clear to see that with the donut midfield, the lack of actual tactics, the unbalance of the team, this is the total opposite of everything he showed us last season. And I'm all for the manager putting his stamp on the team and whatnot, and that's why even though Forest was it for me, and that was more so because it was just that was embarrassing. We've lost all season, poor, but Forest was absolutely outrageous and diabolical in how we played.
No, you're right about that. I understand.
I'm still like I've even said on shows I'm happy to be called a flip flop. I'm just asking for Slot. I'm just asking for Slot to convince me, because that's how easily persuaded I am. But right now, with what I'm seeing on the pitch, is
kind of difficult.
Because I don't feel like we need a tactical change. Genuinely, I feel like we just need a motivator right now. But that's another conversation, neither here or there. But the main point is the fact that these communities are exactly what I would consider a representation of our club. That's
Thank you.
This is what
I 100% agree with that, because like me personally, I will never I respect you guys for the content that y'all do. Y'all have your channel, you have your stream and do stuff. So I respect. That's why I subscribe. That's why I follow. And sometimes in my spare time, if I'm free, I will try to as a outside Liverpool fan, from the Caribbean looking in, I could tell when some people have good takes and they want to analyze the game pretty well, and they have good takes, or we may not agree, or we could agree to disagree. And when I see people could listen to my point of view, because one of the things I connected with 12th Man with is that I remembered before 12th Man came on to the stream, because 12th Man came on late, and I was getting battered
Anfield
on.
Irishman.
No, this was on Bayesian TV, but it's like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they have good guys.
I love the Bayesians, man. I love the
Yeah,
Bayesians.
big up to them. I rate them. That's why I
each and
subscribe to
every
them.
time, man.
But,
Big them up.
you know,
man.
sometimes you have others because it's a Friday night line, so anybody could come on and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you will get all kinds, right? You'll get emotional kind. So I remember I telling people that you're not seeing the work Szoboszlai doing for Liverpool. You're just going on what the rival fans saying, but he's not getting GA and stuff, and you're not seeing that same analogy I say with Szoboszlai patching the holes on the ship. If Szoboszlai energy wasn't there last season, we lost a lot of games, right? And he was compensating and covering for Salah a lot last season, and everybody just focusing on Salah, but you're not seeing the hard work, the dog work that Szoboszlai doing, and everybody just criticizing him and stuff. And then when 12th Man came on, 12th Man kind of understood the points, and like 12th Man was already on that show, so like everybody respect 12th Man. So it's like, so it's like everybody just like calm 12th Man here, and it's just I was like, and then from then I was like, wow, this guy here knows his stuff. He deliberating well. He's speaking in time. He waiting for his turn, and everybody just rah. And as soon as I saw he had a channel, I was like, all right, cool. Let me just go over there and get takes. And 12th Man will tell you, me and 12th Man, we disagreed on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But like when 12th Man speak, it's like I say, yeah, boy, I never really look at it that way, and it really making sense. And then there was things that me and 12th Man have this kind of saying, 95% agree and then 5%.
5%,
right? Yes,
exactly.
5% disagree, right? But it's like, I respect people who could listen to our opinion, especially me. I don't like it. I'm a sports person and a physical education teacher by trade. So I am heavily into sports. I played sports semi-professionally, and I understand the pressures of being an athlete, right? And I work with athletes, and I know what they have to go through. And when I hear people who never experienced that pressure and saying that these people are crap and they don't know what and it kind of irks me, because you can't do better, one, and two, you don't understand the philosophies, the tactics, the mental strain, the physical drain that it goes into performing at a high standard all the time. And I always tell people, if I take a camera and I go to your workplace and I take a camera of everything that you are doing and every mistake you make, I criticize it. Let's see how you will deal with it. And that's in your workplace, right? So when people just talk out of emotion and not watching the facts and stuff, and it kind of makes me not want to watch the stream or not want to be on that with somebody, because is not we're not here for views, we're not here for clickbait, we're here to just give our opinions, trying to see. And then sometimes all three of us need to combine our opinions to get the full picture. Right? So
that's exactly the truth. And that's why, again, when it comes to, I saw the comment earlier about like, is this the club or whatever, something like that. Look, the players are part of this club. They're components of the club, obviously. The owners and the backroom staff, they're part and components of the club, obviously. The city is a part of the club, as in how they support them, how the city can be up or they can be down over the play of what the club does. But also the fan base out there is a part of the club as well. And how we conduct ourselves amongst each other is a very big cultural component of what I believe is important for a club. It's one of the things that made me gravitate towards Liverpool. Having not been born in the city, there are plenty. I have my choice of clubs to gravitate towards. But I also, during an era, and I'm talking about the 90s, when we were not good, okay? It's not like you're saying, oh, this is someone trying to pick on on a bandwagon team, or you're just picking because they're winning a lot, or they're something along those lines. No, I gravitated towards because the heart and the pure beauty of the players in the city, and I also gravitated to primarily because of the Liverpool fan base that I got to actually meet and become friends with, and recognize the fact that we are always in what the sentiment, at least I always took as, is that we're in this together. The whole "you'll never walk alone" was a real sentiment that was carried in your heart and your soul. The whole concept of it's us against the world, the whole idea that we will be respectful and understand that this is our family, our Reds family. And what was unique about this internet experience is that a lot of times, I see a lot of, not pundits, but content creators take liberties sometimes with the way that they go about regarding players, and some of the taking liberties with the words that they utilize and say. Some of these players, like I actually happen to know 2 players now on the Liverpool team, or have played for Liverpool at least, and like at times you hear these people talking about, and they're like, maybe that's someone that you have a friendship with, or someone that you do have a relationship with in the sense of being connected to. I know what that's like. Just like JP was saying, it's a different mentality when you have a real connection to the players at another level. And I'm not saying that that's the only way that you could ever understand that feeling. I think of more so the reason why I love Liverpool is because of people like JP, people like KJ, people like JK, people like Brian, people like Lee, people like Norm or Lee in the chat, or people like Ross, Red Armchair Supporter, like all these different people, Hylor. We come from different regions of the world, but yet we are unified by the fact that we support this club. And one unique thing that I would believe is that if we were going into war together, we are going into some type of war together, we are going to go in it together. We're not going to fight amongst us. Exactly. We're not going to fight. We're not going to try to self-divide ourselves. We're not going to just use disgusting names and words for the players that we're going to, at the same breath, go out there and win us a game. But then in the same breath, you're going to call them disgusting names. Yeah. It's like I would never do that for my family, much less am I going to do that for the players that are going to go out there and try to represent this badge. I respect that. I appreciate it. And I think that is a core cultural element of this club. If you don't agree with it, that's your perspective. I'm just trying to tell you that's this type of sentiment you're going to get on this channel, or at least for myself. And if that's not cool with you, then cool. Then maybe you would like to conduct a conversation with someone else. That's how I'm going to say it. All right. I mean, I don't think I was disrespectful in any way.
No.
100.
Very political.
Right. Very political. Oh, no, don't put me on that one. That's how I know people say that too sometimes about me. Oh man. All right, let's do these. Let's finish up these ratings real quick. Let's just go through them. Let's just knock out. We don't have to give them any descriptions because I don't think the rest of the players are players that we need to get descriptions for. Cody Gakpo, I gave it 3. I thought this was one of Cody's worst performances on the pitch. What would you give? What would you give Cody?
Yeah, I would say same. I was leaning toward 3 and 4. I mean, just indecisive for me. Like Cody in a place right now where I think the criticism gets into his head, and I hope for sure that he continues to like work his way through it and just keep it simple for me. But him getting sub for Salah didn't make it any better. So so 3. Yeah, I'll stick with that 3. Yeah.
KJ, you want to give a rating real quick for Cody?
5. Standard.
Oh, 5. Okay. Interesting.
5, you say the KJ?
Yeah. Cody a 5. Okay.
I was trying. You know what? Actually, nah. I'm actually remembering more. It's because you put it on me last minute.
Yeah.
He was offsides for one of those. Yeah, he was offsides for one.
4. It's still too predictable, man. No variation.
Yeah. Look, if you're going to be
And killing
predictable,
rubble with the overlaps as well.
yeah, I'll say this in his defense. I will say this. Another Dutch player, Robin, right? Robin, if you want to pronounce it that way. He was pretty predictable, right? On the wing, wouldn't you say? Am I wrong or no?
Yeah.
You think that was
No,
fun?
I'd
Okay, all right,
agree.
just making sure.
I'd say Gakpo's the B-Tech version of it, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying he's on that level, but what I am saying is that B-Tech level or that B-Tech version of him, he was just so good. He was like,
No, I
he
agree.
was just so good. And
He
it
was
was more of
efficient.
like, he was so efficient. It was more of like, you know what I'm going to do, but guess what? Stop me.
Yeah.
Stop me. And often you could not stop him knowing what he's going to do. If Cody gives you, I'd say 7 out of 10 times, or you know what? You know what you're going to get from Cody, what his move's going to be. But 7 out of 10 times, he's going to get that shot off. And when he does, he's going to probably get an assist or a goal or something from that. I think he does have to keep his head up and try to pass off occasionally a little bit more nowadays. I would like to see him get a little bit more involved in assist making, but that's the only perception. I just say if you're going to be like a one move person, a one move type of creator, just be excellent at that and make them stop you. I give a quick basketball scenario for those that watch basketball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the skyhook. People could say, "Oh, you got the skyhook. Oh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's got the skyhook." Stop him. It was a near impossible shot to stop. And that's why he did it almost each and every time. You never saw him take jumpers. You always saw him take the skyhook. But that's another game. I get that. All right. KJ had to jump out, so I'm gonna try to rock through these real quick too. We only have 3 or 4 more left anyway. Isak. I gave Alexander Isak another poor score. I gave him a 3 as well.
Yeah, and the tactics didn't help him too, boy.
Yeah.
It was like,
they didn't at all.
For me to be saying you're giving Isak a 3 in this stage of his life and in this portion of Liverpool's resurgence, as I would say, to dominate is too sad. It's too sad. That's not supposed to be happening at all.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
If you were going to tell me that my striker is going to get 14 touches, get like 3 shots, 2 of them blocked, and one of these skies over the net, I'd be like, that's not what we paid for.
Yeah.
And if anything, when we did pay for him, we were saying, get the ball to his feet. Oh, okay. His iPad died. Okay, no worries. If you find a plug, you can plug in real quick or whatever. If not, we appreciate you, KJ, always. Curtis Jones. I thought Curtis Jones was a difference maker in this game when he came in.
Yeah,
I give him the highest rating probably out of all the ratings I gave him. I gave Curtis Jones a 7.
Yeah, came in. I mean, unfortunately, didn't get the assist for Wirtz because he was the one who laid it off, and at the time he got the assist where we were thinking it was a Wirtz goal, but they switched it so that it's our own goal and Wirtz got the assist. But I just felt like this game was crying out for Curtis Jones to get a little energy in the midfield. Like, for me, the tactics that Slot implemented, it's kind of difficult for me to disagree with that, because he did learn from his previous mistakes, because McAllister was getting caught in transition too much, so he kind of made McAllister play what is in front of him rather than chasing. And but for me to counter that, I would have just started Curtis Jones. I'd have just take off McAllister and start Curtis Jones. So I would say, for the little stint that he came on, I could say a 7. So that coming up thing, I will just bump up Wirtz to 7.5 then, because I gave Wirtz a 7. So it's kind of hard for me to give Curtis Jones a 7 as well, because he didn't play as much. But like, I see what you're saying, and like, I just hope for the sake of it he plays, he starts not in right back, but like starts in midfield for Saturday against Leeds and give McAllister a rest or something. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what's scary is unless Ramsey is healthy, because I don't think Ramsey got onto this lineup. He didn't. He probably won't. And I'm only saying the reason why he won't probably get a start is because this coach will have him as a backup right back, if not starting right back against Leeds, considering he took out Gomez, depending on whatever his fitness is for the weekend. But chances are he'll either start Curtis at right back or have him as a substitute for the right back role, by the way, too. And that's kind of crappy. I think that's the one thing that's kind of crappy about it. So, I said 7 for Curtis Jones. I meant to say 6, actually. I gave him a 6 to tell you the truth.
Oh yeah, because that's I gave Florian a 7. So yeah, so I would stick with your rating because I with the points that you had there and when I see a player playing out of position and giving a shift like that, it's hard to give them a low rating.
It's hard, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's
I was just happy not to see him not start in the right back spot. You know, the fact that this coach put him back in that right back spot, I was like, okay, well, let's hopefully see something out of that role for him, and we did. That's why I was as long as you contribute, I'll give you credit for it. I don't know if did we do Salah? Did we do Salah? No.
We didn't do Wirtz, and we didn't do Wirtz. We didn't do Salah.
Okay, so all right, so for Salah, I unfortunately moved already too. I'll bring back Wirtz in 1 second. Let's just go through the subs, then we'll go back to Wirtz. For Salah, I thought he was healthy, like as he was a healthy contribution initially, but then he kind of faded out.
Yeah.
I gave Salah a 6. I gave Salah a 6.
I would say it's much more endeavor. I actually saw him trying to press. He running back and yeah, like the energy was there a little bit. But I wouldn't go as high as a 6. I would still say because there wasn't any definite impact. So like I would say like a 5. For me, with the stuff Salah could do and the impact he could have, I didn't really feel like the Sunderland defense were threatened by him, and it's not down to him. It's like we were talking earlier, Sunderland was too comfortable. They didn't feel pressured and not feel at all. So, and he was part of that because, in my opinion, when Salah is on the pitch, he's supposed to breed fear on defenders. Far less Salah and Isaac were on the same pitch at a point in time, and these defenders comfortable. So it kind of baffles me still up to this day. But like, in my opinion, just like you said, a lot more endeavor, a lot more fight today. But like his decision making, his decision making still not there just yet. We don't have that Salah of old where you make quick, decisive, good passes and
before I even move on, I'll just say quickly, I don't know if you agree or not, but I just thought that he wasn't playing in his feelings. He wasn't playing like someone that was like, angry he didn't get to start. So now he's just gonna like half-ass it out there and not really give it 100%. I think that he went out there with an intent. Okay, Florian Wirtz, and then we have one left after this. We don't even have one left, but Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, so I gave it a 7. I mean, the goal, the assist bumped him up to the 7 for me. I just like after the second half, in the second half, by him changing, he dropped off a little bit. He was decent, not vintage, but decent in the first half, and there were a couple of opportunities that I think if Wirtz, they were playing through Wirtz a little more, he would have gotten more comfortable with the game and be able to run the game a little like how he did against West Ham, but unfortunately, for some reason, some of our players not passing to him still. So, again, I'm happy that he got an impact into the game, and he's slowly but surely finding his feet. So I say 7 is one of the rating are given for him, because in my opinion, he was the player of the match for Liverpool for me.
I agreed. Agreed. Eketike, we should give a rating for real quick too. What was Eketike? Because he was in at the 74th minute. He got some minutes to run.
Yeah. I mean,
it was tough. It was tough. I would say probably.
Yeah.
It's only 16 minutes. I don't know if we want to.
Yeah.
But
I would say,
additional. 25 minutes in total. What would you say for Eketike?
I said with the little cameo, energetic as usual thing. I just feel like, sometimes at a TK,
a little too late, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, thing, and I don't get it. I just want to see us, but I know we're not in the position to experiment right now with Etetike and Isaac. So I understand it. I get it. One of them have to be sacrificed, but like a little more composure with that shot he had at the end. Because remember,
that was one of our last good chances too.
And to me, I think he's the only player that, because if you look at his goals is not really much power; it's more composure. So you would think that the guy who has that kind of composure in terms of his finishing would not be rash to hit a powerful shot like that, to be out of control under pressure. But I mean, I understand that you get a little 60 minutes. You're eager to impress.
Trying to make something.
Trying to do something. You're under pressure. Exactly. So, I would give him a 5, because like
that's good.
I love the effort. When I see players come on and give a thing, because I give Chiesa a 6. Even that 5-minute cameo he got a 6, because he impacted the game with that last ditch save with Alisson there. So
Kirkes came on in the 86th minute. Federico Chiesa came on in the 86th minute. They probably would get NAs for the games, but I still want to give Chiesa at least a honorary 7. Okay, because like he saved the game for us basically. We were literally on the verge of getting living up one of those oh no type goals, and he worked his butt off to get back and rescue that off the line for us. So I just wanted to make that clear. For Arne Slot, what was your rating for Arne Slot?
I would say he tried. He tried. I'll say a 4 out of 10, because at least I seen the effort he trying to make. I mean, apart from the deflection and the mistake, we were better defensively, right? So when I see a manager trying, even though I don't agree with the tactics that you're trying, at least I see and you're trying to fix things. So even though I didn't agree with you making us drop back to being this kind of mid-block for Sunderland, I understood it, because Sunderland is no way.
Oh man,
it was crazy. It was crazy.
Say it like
it's
that,
so funny, man.
I know, that just made me just.
It's kind of wild.
I was just like,
wild.
That just made the energy go. It's like, oh,
but like, I understand it, because if you're playing McAllister, you have to do it, and that's why I say not giving you a 4, because I would, if it was me, I would have just put a midfielder with legs, to counter that, so we don't have to do that. But 4, he went with almost the same team. Salah benched again, and it looked a little better in spurts, but a 4 for me for Slot.
Wow. I'm gonna be scandalous with my rating. Because I gave him a point. I gave him a point for having the courage not to start Salah. I gave him I emphasized that point by having the courage to start Gomez for a second straight game.
Mm-hmm.
And all that still got him 2 points raised. I'm sorry, man.
You understand what I'm saying, right? Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
even though, because I gave him an extra 2 points because at least you showed me that you're trying your tactic. Because what could you do if you start McAllister? You have to do that. There, because he's getting caught out in the transition enough, and it means that you're observing, and it means that you have some sense that if you keep persistent to play this guy, you have to also cover us defensively, and you have to do that, even though I don't agree with it, because you're starting him, so you have to do it that way. If we do what we do and press him, then McAllister will get outrun by those guys, and then so. I don't disagree with your rating with the 2 out of 10, but at least once I see he trying and he doing something, think, because that statement alone supposed to minus 4 marks.
Yeah, exactly.
That statement alone there supposed to minus 4 marks.
Too often.
So,
I mean, when like you got Dijk saying comments similar to this. You got you got people like say that you would be like, what? How dare you? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And you're like, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah. That statement alone got him docked 2 points on my score. That statement alone got him docked 2 points alone. Yeah. I was like, oh man. Look, if this coach wants to be bold and he wants to be, he will do what Jurgen Klopp did. There was a moment during Jurgen Klopp's tenure where Jurgen Klopp recognized that the 4-3-3 wasn't hitting the way it should be hitting. And he adjusted his lineup to be accommodating towards what was going to play and what was going to work. Yeah. I would even go as far as there were people out there that were saying, whether it was him trying to use midfielders as center halves that year, or maybe it was even when he was being stubborn to not necessarily incorporate players like Endo into like normal everyday roles with the team. Eventually he did. Eventually he was bold enough to say, I'm going to go forward with this player, despite him not being all world. He's going to know you got this to do. Just go out there. I'm not asking for you to be a goal scorer. I'm not asking for you to be some drop dimes of passes from left to right, or these diagonals and everything like that. Just asking for you to be solid, contribute, not be a negative, and go out there and be consistent. And that's what we got out of Endo. And it took a lot of guts to play Endo, considering the way a lot of people had the temperament that people had towards Endo, especially. People were making fun of the player. People were, trying to, before he even kicked the ball for us, there were people that were being saying some disparaging words about him. So for me, I would love to see this coach go one step further. You took the initiative to have an existence without Mohamed Salah being a starter in this normal role. Fantastic. That's bold. That's courageous. I applaud you for it. You went as far as to finally put a right back who plays right back in the right back role when we need a right back because our 2 right backs are injured. Bravo. I applaud you for showing the courage to do that. But what I am asking for you to do is have the courage to revert back to the one time maybe 2 times we've actually played well. And the way that when we've seen our team played well, it's been when we've been in a system that incorporated a 4-4-2 in our formation. And that's going to take a lot of initiative for you to say, I'm going to have to make a really tough decision on Maka. I'm going to have to make a tough decision on Grav. I'm going to have to make some really tough decisions on possibly starting an Endo, so that we can have the clarity of a DM in the back that plays a more traditional DM role for us, for what we need right now. Those are things I'd like to see.
Yeah.
And what Fake Pundit is saying too. I think that you can say what you want about our counter press and the efficiency of it and the likes, but what I will emphasize is that the counter press is a vital part of our identity. The press is a vital part of who we are as a Liverpool team. We've continuously turned down that dial on the heat that came from our press. Easily as the year continued to push on, we continue to see the level of our press continue to go down to the point where it's almost non-existent at the moment. And that is an issue for me. I want to see a concerted effort towards the press. Our front line has to be a press, has to be some form of the press that we're normally seeing as an identity. Forcing teams. We utilize that against Villa, and Villa, who is a decent team, by the way. They sit third, I think, right now, currently. Second or third in the Prem right now. Villa. We made a Villa team that was on a winning streak look basic, look out of sync with their passing from the back line. And it was because we had a press that contributed towards that happening. And I've seen our press be seriously implemented twice this year. And that's concerning. And I think what's also concerning is the fact that a coach, and this is to some of my Twitter compatriots that I converse with online. What I mean by you have to say that this has to fall on the coach, despite the fact that, yes, the players have to go out there and implement what the coach says. The coach also, I remember Jurgen Klopp, if he didn't see you pressing, if he didn't see you going gear, if he didn't see you practically redlining it on the RPMs, guess what? You're watching the game next to him on the sideline.
Yeah.
And you've got to have that. If you don't show that emphasis of understanding that the counter press is our identity and you're going to press like it is, if you don't show that, then you don't deserve to be on that pitch. Simple as that. This is at least my opinion. I think that if you're not going to show that kind of effort, if you're not going to show that kind of commitment, I don't want to see you in the scheme of what we're trying to commit towards on the pitch, because I think that is a real big emphasis, a real big factor in why you have comments like this. We were a little surprised that we had the time and space to play. If you have a commitment to the press, that statement never happens. And that's an issue. And if you're a coach, you shouldn't have to have Curtis Jones saying in press interviews, we need to be stronger. We need to be more aggressive. We need to be, we need to have that bite. We need to have that fight. We need to be pressing. We need to be all these different things. You don't need Curtis Jones to say that. That is something that the coach instills in you to the point that you know that if you're not giving that, you're not playing. That's my idea of what it is. You don't want to give the 100% effort that we need, then guess what? You're not playing. Simple as.
Yeah.
It should be natural to work hard. It should be, but I think that this team, again, when you start the seeds of going to Ibiza and going to Dubai, when seasons are still in flow and the likes, and you kind of allow for seasons to go where they must. That is a mentality that you start to embrace, and subconsciously it starts to creep up when you least want it to. And you don't know where, you don't have that reserve to pull out those great games, those great miracle wins and the likes. All right, before we bounce out of here, because it's already close to 3 hours, I was only going to do a 2-hour show, but we got into some, we got into talking about the culture, talking about the culture, and you know me, I am one for the culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me say one quick shout. I wanted to do this shout, please, to Peacock or to Sky Sports or to TNT. I emphasize to make it an option that you can take off. I don't want to take off the sound where I have to mute my channel. I want to hear the crowd. I want to hear what's going on the pitch. Okay. I want to hear all of that. But I don't want to hear some of these commentators anymore. Some of the commentators, John Champion is one of the worst. It is like, oh my goodness. It feels like I'm stuck in an episode of Kingsman and I can't get out of it. I'm just like, please make it stop. Some might like that movie. It's an okay movie, by the way. But but it's just, oh my goodness, it's rehearsed lines. It's like sometimes you're just listening to him and Grand Lasso or some, former Arsenal player just, overly show their bias against your club. It is so disgustingly annoying to have to listen to their takes sometimes. And it's just like, give it a rest. I don't want to hear you talk anymore. Please, can I mute the commentary and just listen to the crowd? That's all I want to hear. I don't want to be told 20 times about the same point or listen to some random stat that you pulled out 7 times, telling me 7 times throughout this broadcast about, this is only the second time Mohamed Salah has had back-to-back. I don't care about that stat. Please let it go. Let it go. All right. That's my grievance. I had to get that out because oh my goodness. It was so bad. I muted the television. I muted the television because I didn't want to hear him talk anymore. Yeah. I'm watching my team have an absolute wretched performance, and now I'm listening to Grand Lasso and John Champion talk their incredible dribble of, back and forth, pompous attitude. It sounds like, oh my gosh, it was so deflating.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. But I had to get it out. Thank you for letting me get that out too, by the way. It pays to sometimes have your own channel that you can at least get that out. You can't do that. You can't do that in a super chat, Yeah. So there you have it. Give me your final monologue of what you want to say about the game, the talk that we had today, or whatever you want to say. Just the floor is yours.
I mean, a pleasure as always to be on the stream. Especially when Liverpool not doing so good, it's always good to chop it up with fans and people like yourself on the chat to get some honest, serious conversations going to try and help with the frustration, because for me is I'm not happy with what happening. I know most of the fans are not as well, and we gonna be back here in a couple of weeks feeling even worse, in my opinion, because Leeds is going to be a tough outfit Saturday. Then we go straight into Inter Milan, into the Champions League. That is going to be a tough game. And then we home to Brighton, who we know have more quality players on their team and could hurt us if we continue to play this type of football. So, I mean, I just, let's just keep supporting the Reds. I mean, the managers here, whether you slot in, you slot out, it's real difficult right now. And I mean, me as a slot out person, I just have to continue to support my team and hope that it could be turned around and that we could get some sort of success this season. So always a pleasure to being on the stream, and yeah, big up the chat, subscribe people, and we will chop it up soon.
Yeah, pleasure is mine as always. Big up to KJ joining us before his iPad gave out. Big up to him. Look, again, as someone who's not a slot out person, I'm not a slot in, nor am I a slot out person. I'm just a manager, a Liverpool manager in. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I support. If you're the manager, I'm going to support you because I want to see my team achieve success. Okay, if you're the answer towards that happening, I agree. I would certainly love to support you even more. If you're not, of course, I would love to see someone be able to take over the reins and get us to that point. But whoever is involved in the point of being a manager, that's who I'm going to be involved with. Because trust me, everyone knows my opinion. I've been saying that I would love to see Klopp return. I've even opened up my leniency to even say that I'd be open to seeing Stevie G be an interim manager in this club currently. Simply on the fact that I believe that this team is beyond just tactical at this moment. They're in a sunken place. Unfortunately, they're in a sunken place. If everyone's seen the movie Get Out, they're in a sunken place. And I really do believe that they need someone that is going to be beyond just the tactical aspects. Yes, they need maybe a new vision tactically, or they need new emphasis tactically. But for a lot of it, I believe, truthfully, it's about mental. It's about the mentality that we need to get back. It's about the commitment to excellence that we need to emphasize. Deluded Steve says we're still winning the league. Hey, if you believe so, more.
You gotta get deluded Steve on there, boy. I read positive.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a troll or not, but hey, big up to you. I am emphasizing, though, again, that look, this team is only the scary thing about this, and I mentioned it earlier. This team is only 2 points off of fourth place. 2 points off of top four.
Yeah.
That is very important for us. Very important for us. I want to win the league. Absolutely. The goal every year is for us to win the league. But a secondary goal at this moment, a goal that is an achievable goal, considering that goal is slowly but surely becoming less of a reality, is at least getting top four, because we have to qualify for Champions League.
Yeah.
Now, I emphasize also that I would like to see us. I'm sticking. I mean, I'll do one. I don't know if it's one better, but I'll certainly do one like Deluded Steve out here. And I don't want to call myself Deluded 12th man, but I will stick with my emphasis that, or my initial claim or point, that if we are fortunate to catch fire, we're fortunate to finally find that gel, find that connectivity between going through, flowing through flow, for instance, and creating an atmosphere that we have a team that understands feeding our strikers. Maybe we have a formation change that initiates some type of rebirth on our season. We start picking up the confidence that we need. As long as we can initiate that at the right time, as I'm emphasizing again, that it be towards that Champions League, I believe we could have a 2005 type year where we have a performance that's unlike our form in the league. We go off and win a Champions League. And will I be disappointed in our performances? Absolutely. Will be critical. I will be all about being able to criticize or critique or call out the fact that if we were good enough to win the Champions League, we should done better to whatever placing we get in the league. We should be able to be better better because of that sheer fact. But I also think that it's a different run when it comes to a tournament as opposed to a league. A league is a long marathon, you know, but a tournament could just be stay with the pack for long enough, and when you have to make that sprint, you make it. And when you have to make that dash for the finish line, you have the ability to get to that finish line and push out in front of your opposition. And that's what I'm hoping that we can do is stay with the pack in the Champions League, get into that top 8, avoid the playoffs, get fortunate with some placings, because you never know who you're going to play in the way the format runs now. Be fortunate to get a home fixture or get some home fixtures against some good teams, you know, or maybe get some upsets in our brackets that we end up having home field advantage in those cases. And all of a sudden we find ourselves in the final. And then it's anyone's game, as opposed to, we got to win 8 straight, or we got to win, 12 games in a row or something. That's the league. That's why I'm saying it's a difference in tournament and league. And I think that the Champions League is still something that if we get our SHIT together, okay, then we should be able to compete because we have the talent to compete. But that's a whole different story. We still got to see that happen. But I'm going to stick with that. Why not? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey, I know there's some people out there that will.
These stranger things happen, bro.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. Exactly. All right. I see you. And you know what? If we do it, I will be sure to give you all the credit, Steve. I will give you all the credit in the world for that. Look, you never know. Arsenal's they had their third center half go off of injury today. Not looking good. That's not looking good. But we'll see if they can hold on to what they need to hold on. The rest of the league is doing their best to make the pack just that, the pack. So again, who knows? By the weekend, we could be sitting in top 4. That's what's crazy about it. Isn't that wild, JP? By this weekend, we could be top 4.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is why I'm saying, you know what? Do what we need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, do what we need to do, but there is only 2 points separating us and Chelsea. 5 points obviously separating us and Villa, so that's not happening. But I mean, who knows? We can end up. We're still ahead of Manchester United. Look at it that way. We can now say we don't have to listen to Manchester United and be like, oh, we're in front of you in the table.
Yeah. Me personally, I believe we finish in 3rd this season. Right. Yeah. So once there are 2, because we still have this manager here, we'll be too far behind City and Arsenal to catch them back up, or to even pip City, because I think the title race is between both of them now. But we just need to steady the ship, have a couple of good performances, get back into Champions League. And this is how I explain it to people. Would you be surprised if Liverpool win the Champions League this season? And the answer to me is no, because we have Isaac, Wirtz, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah, Gakpo. We have a good team. So, and nobody in the world will be like, wait, how Liverpool win Champions League? No, because we have enough quality players there to win the Champions League, right? So for me, that's the overall goal. You have to put all your eggs in that basket going forward. Now, try to get into Champions League again the right way, the sure way. That's by
trust me. I want to win the FA Cup too. By the way,
and give you a shout in the FA Cup too as well. You push. So you try. You do what?
That should be the secondary.
Secondary.
Champions League, Champions League, FA Cup, then the league.
So don't throw away the FA Cup by playing the Endos and the Rios, and you're playing fringe players like how you did in the Carling Cup, and then you disrespect the FA Cup for us like how you did against Plymouth last season. I'm not accepting that, especially in this season, especially this type of season we're going through now. So expecting good performance in FA Cup, Champions League. If we could get Anfield nights back up and running. Yeah, special nights. And we can see what we can do. So,
yeah. Look, the mission now is much simpler. Find Liverpool again. Find what it is. Find the essence, the identity that we all know of Liverpool. I think that's my personal belief. I think the Liverpool that suffocates teams, Liverpool that owns space, the Liverpool that turns mistakes into actual, into goals. Okay, we have Leeds next, and make no mistake, they certainly see a team that's on the ropes. Every opponent does right now. We know that. We understand that. But the question becomes this: do we show up as passengers or as Liverpool? Because the badge alone isn't going to win us game right now. The songs don't win the games. The history don't win the games. It's the identity of this team that's going to win games. We need our identity back, and we need it back now. So Reds, stay with us, stay with this team, stay with this channel, hopefully, bring some others to the fold, understand the fact that this is a relative safe place to congregate and actually have real discourse and have verbose debate. Look, we need to stay with this moment because football doesn't give you magic when you feel comfortable. Football gives you magic when you're under pressure. And Liverpool, right now, we're on some David Bowie standards. We're under pressure right now. Okay? And let's see who we are. So to everyone out there, big up to each and every one of you. I appreciate the fact that you showed love, that you hung out for as long as you did. There's a lot of people that I see that are still in the chat. Shout out to each and every one of you. Definitely return tomorrow. We're going to have an episode because we have a game coming up this weekend. It's on Saturday, right? It's a Saturday. Is our game?
Yeah.
So we have a game Saturday. There's a game tomorrow too. I'm not doing a hate along or anything like that. Don't worry. That's not something I'm trying to get involved in. I know there is a game though, Manchester United. So I think I'll probably be broadcasting right around the time of who's United playing tomorrow? United play West Ham. West Ham.
All right.
So then again, let me say, big up to each and every one of you. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you hitting that like button. Appreciate if you can pass this on as a channel that we can build a real, true, good, a cultured environment of Reds. So we can all congregate and be proud of each other and support each other best we can.
Yep.
That life is so much better than the track we're on right now is not fun at all. So again, big up to each and every one of you. I wish you the best. Take care of yourselves. Definitely take care of your loved ones in your lives.